Yo, hello. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? Yo, I'm doing amazing right now. Just vibing, chilling, nothing crazy. Yeah, like I mean, I was before joining the call, I was playing Rivals, so just relaxing. Nothing crazy. I actually
Oh,
just,
relaxing.
yeah, I actually just had a I actually just had a pop off game with Emma. I dropped 47 elims and
Feels so good, man.
I dropped 47 elims and 37 final hits.
It's like we're in like
I feel like I could play. I feel like I
yeah.
could play. I could play like every tank except for Penny. I hate playing Penny. She's so bad. She's so bad to play. Like every other tank in the pool I could play, but Penny is just like I don't know how people play Penny. Like she's so bad. Yeah, it's like it's so situational for also Angela as well. But I just don't have practice on Angela. That's the thing. I feel like if I tried Angela, I feel like I could like be cracked with her. But yeah,
Oh, different.
yeah, they're
Right.
for sure different. But like yeah, yeah. So Penny and Angela, are my two least played. But everyone else is like fine. Like I love playing Cap, but if I play Cap, there's a bunch of scoreboard fucking Andes out there, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you have like 40 final hits with Cap?" It's like that's not how you play the character, bro. That's not how you play. The whole point of Cap is to just like be annoying. That's like the whole point of him.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh shoot. Okay. Me, Strange, Mag, or Emma. That's it. And Strange is kind
uh,
of a 50
Strange.
fifty. Strange is
I mean,
kind of. Yeah.
Strange is valid for sure. Strange is valid. I feel like here's the thing. I feel like if you don't know how to play tank, Strange is the easiest one to
That's
play.
true.
Like for
Yeah.
non-tank players, because
You
you
get a lot from him. Yeah.
yeah, I mean his shield is so good. That's why,
Yep.
and like so Mag takes some like getting used to. Uh,
It's
I've
got.
seen some bad Groots as well, bro. Motherfuckers be walling me off from the other team. I'm like, bro, like come on, what are we doing here?
Dude,
Like,
people got the craziest nukes with Mag.
yeah,
Magneto! Just next thing you know, you're
and
gone.
then don't even get me started on Hawk players, bro. Hawk players will
No.
dive in 1v6 and
Yeah.
like, bro, it's annoying. It's so annoying.
I feel like like Hawk's hard. I don't know how people play half the tanks in the NL roster.
I like Hawk, but it's very situational. Like
Yeah.
you have to have to use Hawk, you have to have the right like DPS players around you. If you have
Yep.
like for example, like if you have like a Hella and a fucking I don't know, Hella and like somebody, I would not play Hawk because like that's not like you're not gonna get the most out of Hawk. Like you have to have like a dive composition, you know what I mean? Otherwise you're just like
God, that
fucked, you're gonna
Psylocke.
die. Yeah,
Psylocke's so
Psylocke,
good now, man.
Psylocke, Iron Fist, Daredevil, any one of them.
Even
Like
White
pair them with
Fox now.
Hawk.
Yeah,
Yeah, White Fox, you can just teleport to her fucking DPS and
exactly.
GG's. Like, so it's like, yeah.
No, I'm excited for this shit. It's gonna be fun. I feel like I won't try to take too much of your time. Maybe like an hour, but I
So
feel like
now
it
I'm
could
here
be
chilling.
fun.
I'm usually watching the stream anyway, so
Sure.
might as well pull up and compensate.
Oh yeah, I popped that shit on. I was thinking, what I might do, I might just like stream my screen in the Discord, and then so then you can see what I'm seeing. Oh, you don't have to watch the stream. And then
Oh
we
yeah,
just
well
like,
I'm on my Xbox right now, so
oh
I
shoot,
can't
that's
even
right,
see
that's
that.
right.
So yeah,
Oh
so
shit,
I'm
man.
just
Wait,
so
there's
so
Discord
I
on
got
Xbox?
yeah, it's on
Oh
Xbox and
fuck.
PlayStation. They added the
Oh,
yeah.
hold on. The times are changing. Yo,
Yeah,
what's up,
so I'm
man?
just so that's how I'm communicating, but
I see.
um but I have the stream pulled up just to like see
Oh, okay,
if
okay.
people in chat like say anything to like comment on it or whatever, but
I feel like
yeah.
it should be a good time, low key. But might have to do this again when further people finish it, but I feel like it could be fun just really early. Get that YouTube content out.
Yeah, W YouTube content, and also whenever you finish Mass Effect, you definitely gotta run that back and do like some kind of like tier list for Mass Effect. That'll be fun.
Gotta be a character tier list, right? What are you thinking, Lynn?
Yeah, it has.
For
Probably
Mass Effect?
character, probably.
Yeah, I feel
Like romance is hard for you because this is
Hard.
only your first playthrough, so you don't really
Exactly.
know, like, you know what I mean? But character is easier because like everyone pretty much meets the same characters, so
Yeah, I feel like character has to, because like you have to do the quest anyways, and we've done every single person's character quest. So I feel like we can probably say his blue-haired
100%.
ladies. True. I love me my blue-haired ladies. I mean,
oh yeah,
Risky, what
you know,
kinda-
Chloe
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all them.
Does Liara count? I think so.
Yeah, I mean, Liara is like all blue, so she's
Yeah.
not like a blue hair. Like her hair is blue by default. Like
That's true.
that's
Dude, that's why I like her. Fuck. Dude, I stay loyal too. You know no one stay loyal in Mass Effect 2, right?
yeah. No, I remember you saying that you were just like gonna not romance anybody, and
Full
then yeah.
loyal.
That was not me. The plan was to romance people. Then the suicide mission happened, and I
Oh
ended
no.
up fucking myself. So yeah,
Did you really continue with that playthrough? No save
yeah, I
scum?
did. 'Cause
Oh, you're
I would,
savage.
bro, no, bro. I was not gonna save scum because I was like, I want this to be authentic. So I'm like,
That's
fuck
fair.
it. They die. So I'm like, whatever.
That's honestly
But
what
I
happened
will
with
say-
My Life is Strange. I was like, I wanted to after we fucked up the Ren thing, but I was like, nah, I
Bro,
just gotta play it out. I gotta
the
play it
fact,
out.
bro, I was looking at my TV the entire time. I'm like, this motherfucker.
It took me
he
30
can't-
minutes.
There's no way this motherfucker is gonna pick the wrong option. He's talking too much. Like he's talking himself out of it.
I talked
I'm like,
myself out of the
there's
right
no-
option every time.
I'm like, yo. I'm like, okay. At first he's like, okay, maybe Lucas, but then he finally goes to Ren after like Lynn brought up the fucking paint thing, right? I was like, okay, valid point, right?
Well, I got caught
But
up
then-
because then Lynn was like, yo, the spray paint, the
The spray-
she said like the nozzle type. I was like, alright, hold on.
the nozzle was like, she was like, oh yeah, he must be talented if he did that with like, because it was like too skinny or whatever she said, something like that. But
I was thinking it could be like Joey's protester, but honestly, it was too easy. It was too obvious at that point. I should have picked Red. I'm an idiot.
yeah, nah, like, bro, Ren was literally brought in to just be that character. That's it. That's all he was brought in for.
Giddy
Like,
ass.
yeah, like you don't know shit about him. He's literally just brought in to be like part of the story. That's it. Like,
Well, that's why like that was the only reason I was like kind of not thinking about it, man. And Amanda, I'm gonna blame Amanda.
yeah, Amanda was kind of a L.
Yeah,
I mean, all she said was like, oh yeah, he's my boy or some shit like that. Like that's my guy or something like that. So,
Okay. That's why I trust her. Like, if she just
Yeah.
said he's cool, I'd have been like, all right. Well, she said that's my man.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, okay.
yeah, she gave him the extra vouch,
That's
which
what
was
I'm
not
saying.
good, but
All my homies hate Amanda.
yeah, nah, fuck Amanda. Probably like if we're combining these two games as one, probably because they even gave like Vin more of like a actual story now, so
True.
probably one of the worst characters that they added was Amanda for sure. Because now she's
I
like almost
agree.
pointless, right? Because like now with Vin having like, you know, like, even though I don't really agree with the fact that they turned him into like a quote unquote bad guy or whatever,
Yeah. It's definitely like quote
like,
unquote. Did you see the
they
ad for him?
actually. Yeah, I didn't like
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually play it myself. I went and like watched to see like where is Vin, right? And I ended up seeing like, you know, what his like, you know, story kind of amounts to. So yeah.
It's honestly, I think it's betterly done than Amanda, though, right? I think we could say Vin is probably a better character than Amanda by the end of the game.
Oh, and like that's the crazy thing because like
Eh,
the bar is like so low.
it's very
right?
low.
And like Amanda is still beneath that bar. It's crazy.
Oh,
like
God.
it's a very low bar and she's down there below, like really, really bad.
I think Lid hates Amanda the most. She'd make a good point, but
No, I mean,
not a trustworthy
bro,
narrator. You're right.
Amanda is terrible, and she's not trustworthy either. Like you said, like you can't trust anything she says, and I feel like she's kind of like hit or miss. Like like what do they call? She's like indecisive, right?
Yeah.
Because like remember in like Double Exposure, they were like, oh yeah, like let's have this romance with Amanda, right? But then Amanda just like all of a sudden like is like, yeah, I like you, Max, but I'm also not gonna commit fully to you, right?
Yeah, then she like calls
'Cause,
her like she says like she dodged a bullet. I think in both opportunities, right?
Yeah, dodge the bullet, but that's at like the end.
fucking
I'm not
bad.
even talking about the end. I'm talking about like, because there was that part in the beginning, right, where like Amanda pulls up to the house or whatever,
Oh
right?
yeah, when you're
And then
doing
Max,
Safi, yeah.
yeah, and then there's like an outcome, like a choice where you can pick for Max, and it's like, oh, I want to be something with you. And then she's like, you're kind of going through trauma, and I'm not trying to like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so she's just indecisive as a character. Like, it's hard to buy into her as a character. And yeah, she's by far, I think, the worst character. Like, if we're talking like main
Life is
kind of
Strange,
ish
maybe?
characters,
Ooh.
well,
Oh.
she's definitely up there. If we're talking like all time, she's 1000% up there for sure. Up there.
Yeah.
So.
I could agree with that. You really think it's the worst though? A character like maybe Finn? Like,
Yeah, but the thing is, Finn at least
Finn
has like
characterization.
interest in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's interesting. Like, what is interesting about Amanda? Like, there's virtually nothing. I would love to meet one Amanda fan out there to just ask them what do they like about this character? Like generally, like what do they? There's no way there's an Amanda fan out there somewhere. Like, there's just no way.
Dude, the Finn community, we can't say anything bad about Finn. They gonna come after us.
Yeah, no, Finn's community rides deep, and that's crazy because I remember looking on Twitter one time, right, and I was like just scrolling through, and bro, there were people simping for this
That's
motherfucker.
what
I'm
I'm
telling you,
saying.
I'm like, where did this guy get this love? Like, I get it, he has a cool design, like
Yeah, he's
the way
cool.
that they
He
drew
looks
him
cool.
in is like
Yeah.
dope, yeah. But like, why
His hair.
did y'all play the game? Like, why are we simping for this dude? Like, this dude is. Like, when I say Finn's one of the worst characters, I mean like his like motivation, right?
The
Like,
choices, I think, yeah. Like
yeah,
choice-wise, probably the
his
worst.
choices,
Yeah.
yeah, by far one of the worst because like he has zero positive like impact on the brothers. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see how
Besides, like messing
like
up
that. You
Daniel
know what I
a
mean?
little bit,
Like,
yeah. Like he kind of fucks with Daniel.
yeah,
a
like
little bit, too.
he messes with his head, number one, right? And then like his whole like end game is the fucking heist thing, right?
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like it's weird.
I
And
don't
also
know what he
I'm pretty sure
expected. I don't know. That's what I'm.
I'm pretty
trying
sure
to
you can only romance him if you agree to the heist, which also I think is problematic in itself.
Interesting.
It's like
Okay.
like
I didn't know
why
that.
can we only yeah, I'm pretty sure like you can only romance Finn if you agree to do the heist. If you tell him no, we're not doing it, you either have to like romance
Shit.
nobody or just romance Cassidy. Like it's one or the other. So
Ooh, okay. So
I just think that's problematic as
that
fuck.
just proves
Like
how problematic
just-
he is as a person, honestly.
yeah, like
Finn hate
that's
coming out.
that's so bad. Like
Lynn said Amanda is like a grapefruit. She always looks tasty, but when you try to bite, you realize how bitter. Damn, the grapefruit.
yeah,
The
Amanda.
callback.
I mean, she has kind of an interesting design. I mean, like she tatted up and whatnot.
She's cute to some extent, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain demographic that would go crazy for sure. But I don't know. I just feel like her story and everything is just ass. Like, there's nothing redeeming about her at
I don't
all.
even remember
Like,
her story, to be honest with you.
I can't. I
What's her
can't think of
story?
one.
Yeah.
I can't think of one redeeming trait. Actually, like I just like.
I
That's
guess she
a-
was there for Max, kind of, when Safi died, right?
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
that was kind
I
of
mean,
nice
that's like a stretch if we're saying she was there for her. Like that's
True.
like.
She was doing it for herself too, you know? She
Yeah,
felt
I
Max
mean, she
attractive.
was.
Never know.
Yeah, like she was into Max and shit. So that's That's just all it is, honestly. Like,
All right. I got some good questions today, though, Ritsky. For this it'll be like a quick little hour, but I've got some solid questions. I'm trying to
would you
see a
just
few other
look these
friends.
up online or something, or like
No,
did you cook these up
I cooked
yourself,
these
or
up
what?
myself in the notepad files. I'm gonna link the
The
files
notepad
today.
files. Okay. Reed's been cooking up right now. Reed's
No,
been
these are bad
cooking.
questions. Okay, the notepad we can't see because it's just like it's too
Are
vague.
these like Life is Strange directed questions or like
Yeah,
what?
I think we're just gonna do like reunion specifically. At least
Okay, so just
starting
reunion.
off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, starting off, and then
Gotcha.
depending on the question. But I think we start with the crazy question because Ritsky, I didn't ask you this when we did our playthrough, and I wish I did.
Okay, yeah.
But the question is, so we know you don't care too much about Chloe going into reunion. By the end of this game, did you care more about her and the relationship with her and Max, or you did it not land the mark? Yeah, that's PR too.
That's PR. Okay.
That was a good question, right? That was a decent
Um,
question.
Yeah, fire question for sure. Very specific because Reed knows that I just always talk about Chloe, so very specific. But I would say, did I care more so specifically about her and Max's relationship, right? Or are you just talking about Chloe as an individual?
I would say like, yeah. So, did you buy Chloe as an individual now, like as a character? Do you like her more? And then yeah, also, how do you feel about their relationship now after?
Okay, so
Yeah.
before I fully answer the question, I have to state that I don't fully hate Chloe. Okay, I my opinion on Chloe is that um I just think, to me, and again, I know I'm in the minority here, but I would say to me, she is a solid character.
Okay.
I don't put her in like the great character. I just think she's solid, right?
Okay.
When I played the original Life is Strange, right? I never thought that like the character Chloe, kind of similar to Finn, right? I never thought she was gonna like have the fan base that she has, right? And like she kind of just blew up, and they kind of like pumped so many resources into Chloe, right?
That's fair.
Because they give her such a big story in Life is Strange 1, and then they come out with Before the Storm, which is fully centered around Chloe,
That
right?
was full Chloe, yeah.
So yeah, so they kind of just like made her like the almost the poster
She's
child
definitely
of
the
Life is
poster.
Strange.
Yeah,
you know?
she has to be.
Yeah,
That's fair,
like,
right? I don't
like
know. Would there be Life is
so.
Strange without her? That's the question. Like, do you think they would have
Well,
continued?
well,
I don't know.
well. See, that's the thing. I would have to say probably no early on anyway,
Yeah.
right? Because she was in the first one, like I said, and then Before the Storm comes out, so she's in two games like back to back. Like, there's no way if you take her out the equation, like, there's no Life is Strange really.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Max is cool, but like I get why Chloe kind of has an appeal because she's like the edgier one. Like she says like crazier shit, and you know what I mean. Like she's more entertaining in a sense. Like Max is really like cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Like she's not as like out there as Chloe. You know. So
That's a good answer. Okay.
um, but to answer about the reunion part, I would say reunion didn't like it didn't like change my opinion.
Oh, damn.
I do like, you know, what they did with her and Max, and obviously there's a lot of different ways to end depending on like your playthrough, but I would say in the one that I ended up getting, which was like pretty much the one that you got, at least like the first one you got, where like they they go back to Arcadia Bay and visit it and all that kind of stuff.
That should
I would
hit
say
though
that's
a little bit, right? Like a little.
yeah, I would say that's a
Okay.
pretty fire ending. Like the nostalgia is hitting,
Yeah.
right? Because like they thought that their hometown was destroyed, ends up not being true. They go back to it. Obviously, a lot of feelings and everything. Yeah, I would say my opinion of Chloe the character is still the same, but I
Okay.
do like what they did for her and Max to like end that chapter of Life is Strange.
I see what you guys did there. No, okay. That's kind of where I was gonna go with it. What I was gonna mention, I think it's kind of important. I actually liked how this game, I think it helped Chloe a lot as a character. So like with Max and Chloe before, it was more just like Max helping Chloe, but I feel like this game was actually Chloe helping Max too. That I liked. Was that just me who saw that? Or it was like you get to see both sides now?
No,
It's like,
no, 100%. I think
yeah,
Reunion definitely brought out that side of Chloe because like
more
Max
mature too.
needed Chloe to like help her. You know what I mean? And she's yeah, like you said, she's much more mature now. She's not
Yeah.
this random high school girl and shit. You know what I mean?
Doing
Like she's
dumb
much more
shit.
mature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and also if you choose the path of like of her dying in the first game, I think a small part of the Chloe that you end up meeting realizes that there is a world out there where she could have experienced death. So I
Yeah.
think a lot
Helps
of her
ground her.
maturity has
Yeah.
to do with the fact that she knows that she's very lucky to be in the situation that she's in.
So,
You know what I mean? So
well, yeah,
I feel like
in
that
your
has a lot to
playthrough
do with it.
where she was still alive, does it change from mine where she was dead? I'm wondering.
I mean, the playthrough, the backstory definitely changes some
Yeah.
things. Obviously, when they first meet and they go back to the house, and then in the morning they have that conversation with each other. Um, I would say like it that conversation. I don't know if it was as like crazy as it was in yours because in yours it's like
I felt more
you know
emotional. Yeah.
yeah yours is like she died and she realizes that Max didn't save her in a sense, right?
Yep.
With mine, it just felt like there was a lot of baggage because like they haven't seen each other in a while, and yeah,
And to
there's
be
like a lot there.
responsible for like the whole town getting destroyed and people dying, but I guess
Yeah,
they
yeah,
come
the whole
back,
the whole
right?
town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they do come back. Obviously, Joyce is alive and all of them. So
So,
yeah, I mean, I would say that playthrough was more emotional. Mine's was more of like, okay, let's unpack like what we've been through and try to move forward type shit. So
I just think there's so much to talk about with Chloe, cause like this game they kind of cooked up with her, especially remember so when we were on the boat in that scene where you can kiss her, that was pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing, but if you keep trying to kiss her, it keeps cucking you. The boat falls over in the water, but if you keep rewinding, she actually catches you trying to rewind. She's like, did you try to kiss me? I thought that was pretty cool.
that was probably one of the better scenes in the
Yeah.
game, I would say. Like probably one of the better ones. I think even that tiny detail of you keep rewinding and then like she calls you out on it, I think is huge. That shows that like the
She
developers were like paying
knows.
attention.
And
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Yeah. So that's fire for sure. So
No, that's what I enjoyed. I think the most about this game was you actually get to play both. That's the first time, right? In Life is Strange, we get to play
that's
two characters, right?
yeah, that's the first time that you make choices for both, which I think was
Really, really.
by far one of my biggest takeaways is
Yeah.
that was the best addition to this game. I would love to see that come back in future Life is Strange if we have the opportunity to like make choices for both people. I would love that.
No, I feel like
So
people don't talk
yeah,
about that, but yeah, that shit was done so well. Damn.
yeah, it was really good. I would love that to return. Don't know if it's going to, but I would love it if they like implement that in the next game.
Two characters. You could like introduce like two new characters who are kind of like duos, and then you could definitely work it. Maybe like Safi Diamond. No, you can't really do Safi, as we know what happens with Safi in some people's playthrough.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna get to it later, so I'm gonna save my thoughts on that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to
We gotta. That's the big one coming up.
that.
But I just wanted to talk about
Gotcha.
Chloe because there's just so much to talk about with her. But for me, I guess that's more at the end. But I guess for talking about just simple things that I noticed early with Chloe was just yeah, she actually seems more mature now, and I like how she's actually trying to help Max, and it's not just all about her this time. That I liked a lot. That helped me a lot. Honestly, appreciated her as a character more. That's just me though.
Yeah, no, 100%. She's improved, I will say, but I still don't, like I said, I don't have her. I personally wouldn't have her in like a great tier list. And I remember there was like one point we were talking about was like, do we put Chloe in like the great tier list of like all time characters, right? Like even outside of Life is Strange. I would never go that
Really?
far.
Alright, because this is where we gotta talk. Because I feel like
would
this is what
never
people
go.
like. The talks. We gotta.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, hold on.
Cause like, cause
I'm
I,
gonna try to convince you.
cause it was that one. I remember there was that one stream a while back where we were like discussing like Mount Rushmore characters. Remember?
Yep.
And I remember like there was a point where it
Yeah.
was like, oh, Chloe, I feel like all time she's up here. I
Mm.
okay, it's
What
like
about choice-based games? Is she in the Mount
choice.
Rushmore for choice?
Okay, but like the thing is, choice-based games are so
They're
niche that
very
there's only a
niche.
few of them, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you kind of have by default she has to go up there. But if we're looking
Yeah.
at gaming in general, it's really hard for me to put up. I would love to hear your for like why
I
she should go up there, but like
Mount Rushmore, I could see people saying not Chloe, because I personally I think that's someone like Lara. I feel like Lara takes that for the girls. But
for sure, yeah.
I feel like her as a character, she's top tier. Like, sure, romance, as we said when we did a romance tier list, she's not the best. But in terms of like characters in Life is Strange, honestly, in games in general, I feel like she's like high up there. I see what you mean, where she doesn't have the best characterization sometimes, and it really is just her being like a little prick teen half the time. But think about it. What character has given you more emotion in a game than Chloe? I want to hear it from the girl perspective.
What? Hold on. What character has given more emotion than Chloe? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so like what girl character has given you
Oh, see,
like a
now we're changing
more
it up.
emotion?
Now it's like what girl character?
That's not
Next,
even a
it's what
question.
blue-haired individual has given you more?
What blue hair punk goth teen has given you? No, okay. I'll rephrase. So, like, what character? What to say girl? What to say? What girl character has given you more like memory and nostalgia too, and like emotional feelings in a game? What girl?
Alright, well, I'm trying to think, right? So off the top of my head, like, okay, Laura Croft wasn't
my
really emotional, to be
Final
honest with you.
Fantasy 14 character. Okay, Lynn.
Yeah, shout out to Lynn's fucking Pog Final Fantasy 14 character. Like, shout out to
She is caked up.
Extremely caked up, apparently. Extremely. um, yeah, no, women character is so tough because it's not like realistically, it's not like there's a lot of them.
No,
Off, right?
yeah. Even though like
It's like
that's what people are
most,
doing nowadays, it's like the girl thing.
yeah,
They
nowadays
don't
there's
give
a lot
that
more
like,
like
yeah,
there's a lot more like women main characters nowadays.
they're not
But like when
memorable
we were
though, right?
when we were coming up, there wasn't a lot. It was mostly dudes. Like respectfully, it's only
I think that's the
there's
word
only
for
a
it.
handful of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like what girl is more memorable than Chloe in my opinion in
like
a
all
game?
time, like any character.
We'll say like girl, any character.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. I mean, Laura Croft.
Lara
I mean,
Croft.
I know she
Yeah,
hasn't
she's the
had
Mount
like
Rushmore. That's what I'm
she
saying.
hasn't had like
Yeah,
she hasn't had like the best games recently, but
that's true.
just because of her impact and what she did for like women, I would say she's up there for sure. Um,
Yeah, 100%.
well, see, now we get into the conversation is do you think Chloe is a better character than like Tifa or like Aerith or any of them? I don't know.
That's tough.
I feel like Tifa and Aerith might be better written characters personally. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I will agree with you. I think that Tifa and them have better like written wise, but I think like the sad story and all the like what happens in obviously in Life is Strange 1 is more sad and is more memorable than some of the stuff that happens, most of the stuff that happens in Final Fantasy with those characters, right?
Okay, so this is an interesting thing.
It's
Would
tough. Yeah.
would you say Chloe's story is sadder than Aerith's? If you would compare story for story,
Oh,
like
that's tough.
who has the saddest story between her Aerith and Chloe? Because Aerith been through some shit, if you remember,
That
in
is
Final
true.
Fantasy
I don't wanna.
7, and
I guess
also
we could spoil,
like,
right? For what happens with her and shit. Ooh.
well, yeah, I mean, unless you're new to the
Yeah.
game, you know, if you play the OG, you already know what happens. Even though obviously they swap some things around, but you know what I mean, like.
I think it
But
is though because like Chloe, she only has like one person in her life, which was Rachel for a while.
yeah, right,
And,
so
like,
yeah.
I guess her parents, like her mom.
And then Max comes back eventually.
And then like Rachel dies, and then like Max left her, so now she has
Max
no one.
leaves her. Yeah,
Yeah, then Max comes back, and then and then Chloe figures out that she basically has to die for a town to live, and she goes with it. And then like all that emotion that you had for playing throughout the whole game, technically you have to realize that like she's not even gonna remember it because she's gonna die before.
I think,
all that stuff.
not to circle too much back to Chloe,
Yeah.
but the one thing I will give Chloe props for is that she does tell Max like she's okay with dying. So
That's true. Yeah.
I will give her props for that because it's not like she's telling.
Yeah. I feel like she's up there, man. I feel like she's up there. I will fight for Chloe as a character. Oh, did I lose you, Ritsky? Uh-oh. I think we lost Ritsky. But Lynn, you said Bayonetta 2B. I agree with all those. Bayonetta 2B, A2, yep. Do you mean, yeah, Ellie, Last of Us, that's a good one. Oh, Ritsky's back.
Yeah, my bad. I had to. My controller died, so that's my fault.
Okay. Oh, no
But
worries.
yeah, no, I would say, like I said, Chloe definitely deserves props for telling Max that like she should pick the town. Like she wasn't selfish about it, basically.
Yeah.
Definitely props for that. But yeah, I mean, main female characters. I heard you mention The Last of Us. Ellie definitely is in that
Yeah.
conversation
Ellie's
for
high
sure.
up. Yeah, she's
For
high
sure,
up.
Ellie's up there for sure. Um, Trying to think of the ones I
You can say
played.
like, yeah, Claire is
main,
good,
yeah.
Jill. Bayonetta. You got some good picks.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I would
yeah,
think like
Claire.
2B.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Claire and Jill for sure, right?
Like,
Bayonetta, Lynn said, yeah, I like that. Bayonetta. I think Bayonetta's more of like a niche pick probably,
Mhm.
but I like her up there though. I like Bayonetta for sure.
I think it comes down to like more memorable story at the end of the day, like something that you'll
Yeah, like,
remember, and because of the
and like
characters.
it's tough, right? Because like with women main
nitpick.
characters,
Yeah.
some people go into the game thinking like, oh, I can't play this because there's a woman as the main character. It's like, I mean, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are weird about it, so they do catch flack more than the guys because like there's so many male main characters. It's like that's what people are like essentially used to, right?
Sure.
But like when it comes to the ladies, they will catch flack just because they're like a woman or whatever, which is weird. So, um,
Yeah, I'm glad like.
but yeah, all the ones that Lynn said and everything, I would definitely give those like high praise, like Ellie and Claire and Jill and Ada as well. I know
Ada's gotta
you
be
got
up
some
there.
Ada haters out there, but
Definitely
you know,
a lot of Ada
Ada's-
haters out there. They know who they are.
Yeah, but Ada for sure is up there for sure. Her impact and like she's legendary to Resident Evil and everything, so she's definitely up there. But yeah,
Yeah, I think like Life is Strange just because it's a mix of so many things. It's like a mix of these really pretty, really, I would say like Life is Strange 1 at least, very well written girl characters who happen to have like something insane happen to them that creates a very memorable, experience. And I feel like that's why Chloe's so high up for me, is because it's something I'll always remember until I die. And that's like Chloe. And honestly Max. Those two I'll probably always remember.
yeah, no, 100%. I think really when it comes down to if we start talking about Mount Rushmore or really just like people's personal preference, like that's what it really comes down
It's
to. Like
preference.
what games did you play growing up and which characters were the most memorable for you, right?
Agreed.
Nobody's gonna have your definitive like top 5 list of all time. Everyone's just gonna be different. Like you know how there was like the trend recently where people were listing like their top 10 games of all time. Every single list was different. Like you could tell
Yeah.
people that mainly play like online games, right? They had some online games top 10. Then the people who play like single player games, nobody could agree on like a concisive top 10 list. And that's gonna be the same thing for everyone. It's like my top 10 is different from Reed's, from Lynn's, from every, you know what I mean? Like everyone has a different top 10. So
I guess we come down to a good conclusion then, where it's like, Chloe lovers, if someone doesn't like your character, it's okay. It's all opinion based.
it's 100% okay. Also, shout out to Lynn for saying Cortana. We
Good
love the
pick.
Halo franchise over here. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? I love early Halo.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
not they kind
Not
of the
4.
lore later on is kind of fucked, but Halo 1, 2, and 3. phenomenal single player games. Obviously, the multiplayer is legendary, but though the story in Halo 1, 2, and 3 is almost perfection. I would tell you.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
I am I'm of the I don't know if people agree with this, but I think like Reach was one of the best too. That's me though. I know it's not. I think
Oh,
like
that's the
3's the
thing.
overall best game.
So here's the thing about Reach, right?
Yeah,
Reach changed the franchise so much,
that's
right?
fair.
Because like
More
the
actiony.
multiplayer,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but like the multiplayer changed a lot, right? Like
Hmm.
prior to Reach, correct me if I'm wrong, there was no sprinting, right? It was all jumping
Correct.
around and everything. With Reach, they implemented sprinting and the dumbest fucking ability of
Armor
all time.
lock and shit.
Yeah, that armor lock shit.
Dude,
Oh
armor
my
lock was
god,
my shit,
I
man.
wanted. I wanted to tweak on somebody every time they use that shit, bro.
Dude,
I'm like, I'm shooting this motherfucker. He's almost
that
one
was
shot,
me, bro.
and this dude armor locks. I'm like, what are we doing?
It was definitely
Like,
me
what?
every time. I was an armor lock god back in my days.
Like, I could not stand armor lock. Holy God, I could not stand that shit.
I
I was like, like what?
I was so good with the shotgun too, and like armor lock mixed with the shotgun was different. I feel like.
And also, I will say, Reach did a lot of good things for like
Like the
multiplayer in terms
Forge
of
was so good.
like that. Reach's time was like when like esports started becoming like
True.
more and more popular, and the way that they implemented the ranked playlist into the game was fire. So I will give them props for that because it was a really good ranked playlist.
Now, I feel like people talk about this anymore, but was it called Living Dead? Right, like the zombie game mode they had multiplayer. That was peak. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, I think I played that maybe like once. My memory
Where
is
you
not
have
good
like
on
a
that shit.
shotgun, and then every time you
Yeah.
kill somebody, they turn into one with like, and then you turn into you get the energy sword,
Yeah.
and then you have to,
Yeah, there was a bunch of like crazy game modes that like me and like 'cause my older cousins they were like obsessed with Halo as well. So we all played like different things. Like Halo had so many different game modes. It was crazy. Like
it did.
CTF was really popular. Fucking what was the one with the headshots? Was it SWAT or whatever?
Yep.
Right?
And
Where
they
like
had
you only have to get headshots. That used to annoy me because I was like, oh, here we go. Like only
was like
headshots.
they added like custom game modes at one point in Reach for people who were like making Forge, and there was like the one where it was like a golf ball you had to get. I forgot. It was crazy, but it was so much fun when they did that. When they started bringing in like Forge maps to multiplayer, that shit was peak.
Halo's always been good about
Driftball.
like
Yeah.
Halo's always been good about the community, right? It's
Mhm.
like if the community makes a good map that they can see being a good multiplayer map, they will put it in the game. So they've always been good about that. So
Oh man, good old days of Bungie. What happened? What happened? I guess that's Bungie, not 343, right? Do you blame 343?
wait, what'd you say?
Now, do you think it's 343's fault?
Oh, do I blame 343? I mean, it's Halo's different now. It's a different era. I think it's tough for Halo because they have to compete with all these other games like COD, even though people are like, oh, COD fell off. Well, COD still sells very well, right?
Does.
Even though it fell off, they still had that's still a marketing like opponent they have to like go toe to toe with, right? And then you have all these like hero shooters like Overwatch and fucking Rivals, and then you got Valorant became popular, and CS:GO's always been popular, and games like that. So it's like you have to compete with all these like multiplayer games, and I just think that I feel like Halo's time in the spotlight of being a top tier game is like behind us, honestly.
Oh
So
yeah, it's over. I don't think they'll ever fix Halo. At least like make it back to what it was. But I don't know if it would even work anymore nowadays if they did bring it back to that, you know?
yeah, I don't think, because I think people are like done with the Halo gameplay. Honestly, I think the gameplay of Halo is the biggest downfall, right? Because think about it, it's very how do I put this?
Slow.
Well, no, it's not even what I was gonna say. It is slow, but like it's like very hard for the casual player to get into Halo, right?
That's fair too.
Because unless you're gonna be okay with just getting shit on repeatedly, like it's very the point of entry for Halo is very high, right?
Yeah.
If you're good at Halo, you're very good at Halo. That's the thing. Um, it's like with Call of Duty, the point of entry is low because Call of Duty is very casual. So anyone could get into Call of Duty. Um, like Apex
Point.
is like another example, right? Apex is that the skill level of Apex, it's very hard to
Yeah, when we're
like
talking about
master Apex,
PvP.
right? So, I would say it's not impossible for casuals to get into Apex, but in terms of like progressing in Apex, it's hard for like casuals to like care because like they're just getting shit on repeatedly. I think if you want a good game, you have to cater to casuals. Like if you want a
100%
long-lasting
agreed.
game,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just have to because they're the ones who are playing the game and they're the ones who are buying. Like statistically, they're buying the most skins, they're buying the most outfits, everything.
Yeah.
So Halo just has
It has. Yeah.
a very high ceiling of entry, and that's why I think that unfortunately Halo's time in the sun is like kind of done.
Agreed.
Because I don't think people really care.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I think the people that love Halo are a very niche group of people,
Probably.
and I don't think it's gonna be enough to keep like Halo alive, you know. So
I agree. That's a good point. Lynn, you said. Lynn said.
he made an interesting comment saying that
Interesting comment. Hmm.
hot take Bungie's era of Halo was not god tier like people think it was. I think obviously when you're looking back in time, it's easy to look at things with rose tinted glasses and pure nostalgia and be like, oh yeah, this was like the golden era. I do think there are things that 343's era of Halo has done very well, but I think overall, I think if we're combining everything like single player experience and multiplayer, I think there's a reason why people look at Halo 1 through 3 as like the god tier golden era of Halo because like those that was the best experience overall, right?
I think at the time
just
it was
think
perfect. Like I don't think it gets better at the time, but if you were to make that game nowadays, I don't know. But at the time, yeah,
oh no,
perfect.
nowadays that game would never sell. It would sell to all the old heads that played it growing up, but
True.
that's literally the new kids. There's no way they would buy Halo 1 through 3 because it's just the gameplay from what they're used to. Again, people have this like term like we're in like the TikTok era, right? So
We are.
you know, TikTok, it's like people want the clips, they want the fast gameplay, they want the movement. Everyone wants to be a movement god in all these games, right? If the movement isn't good, they're not playing it, right? So
Apex. Yeah.
like Apex, Call of Duty, like with Warzone and
Fortnite.
everything, like the movement, yeah, Fortnite, everything. They want the movement. So Halo, they would have to significantly change the core gameplay, and if you do that, sure, the kids might check it out for a little bit, but then it won't sell to the OGs because now they feel like you're switching up on them. So it's very hard to sell a remastered game, especially a multiplayer game, because you either need to go full on catering to the OGs or full on
Which,
catering to the like the new generation, you know?
yeah, which I think Lynn mentioned the Combat Evolved is being remade. Yes, but I think that's made for the old heads. Definitely made for the old heads, right? I think
Yeah,
that's
no,
the
I'm not saying
main market.
I'm not saying that
Nostalgia.
I'm not saying these games never get remade. What I'm saying is like they never like they don't sell the way that you think that they're gonna sell. Like look at
You're not gonna have a kid
all
play that.
the
Yeah.
all of the remakes like games like multiplayer games they don't like do that well like typically. Now
Sad,
remade
'cause I love
stories
Halo.
is different because like it's your first time experiencing the story for some people. So like that's a completely different market. I just think that it's like hard to yeah. No, I know. I know it's being released on PS5, yeah. Yeah. But that's part of like what we're like talking about. They clearly don't know what to do with Halo, so now they're hoping that if we bring it to PlayStation, now
Yeah.
will it give it a whole new spark, right? Because remember, they tried doing the same thing with Gears of War, and I'm gonna tell you right now,
Gears.
nobody plays Gears 1 on the PS5. Like, if you try loading up a match, it's a very small group of people. So Halo's not going to be any different. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If Gears couldn't get people interested in like the older games, and Gears I would say has more engaging gameplay. then I don't think Halo 1 is gonna do it. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's coming to PlayStation. People will play it, probably the story, but I don't think people are gonna like be hyped for it or really get on the multiplayer or like anything. So,
Shit. No, really good points on Halo. I think that I'll try to bring us full circle back now to Life is Strange.
I don't know how we got to
that
Halo.
was my fault because I asked about it. It was my fault. It was my fault. They keep franchises
No,
on
but-
life support because they already have a fan base. No one takes risks anymore.
No,
Yeah,
100%. I agree. I agree with everything that Lynn said, and it's like the one that's like been a huge problem for me for so long. It's like, well, why did people are like, oh my god, there's no originality. Why is everything getting remade or remastered? Well, because they know that you like these games. If they were to take a risk and make a
Free money.
completely new IP, then there's the risk of it not doing well, right? Like look at all these games that came out recently. Granted, they're not perfectly optimized.
Expedition
But
had to be a
people-
massive risk, but
People were hating on them from the get-go, right? Like you got like High Guard, you got fucking what else came out recently? So many other games
like
that came out
Conduit.
that
Yeah, that had to be a massive risk.
yeah that like flopped, and it's like, well, yeah, the optimization isn't great, but you can't give them a chance to optimize it first before shitting on it. You know what I mean? Like their first instinct is to just shit on the game, and that's why we don't get any new ideas nowadays. Is because if people see a trailer and the trailer is it's just a trailer, like you can't take it to heart. You know what I mean? People will see the trailer and they'll just start shitting on the game. Like the game could be good, the trailer might be mid, but the game could be good. Like we don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate. That's all. Like they don't
Honestly-
take chances. So.
Honestly, I think the era that we are in for gaming though is actually, I wouldn't say it's good, but it shows when an actually good game comes out how much love the game gets. Like a new game that no one's ever done before. Like, you know, like she said in the chat, Schedule 1, Expedition, stuff like that. When games like that come out, like 1 in a million, it's like, holy shit, this is peak.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no,
Slay the Spire
100%.
2.
Not saying that.
Yeah.
Not saying that never happens. I don't want to make it seem like I'm
It's
saying
very
that like
rare though. Yeah.
games don't get love for new ideas. What I'm saying is like the vast majority of time that people, you know, come out with a new IP or something, it usually gets hate, right? Like let's just be honest, it gets a lot of hate. There are examples like you said, but those are more of like outlier examples. Like Expedition, great game, all time game. Like hardly anybody has shit on that game because everyone knows it's a good game, right?
It's still an indie
You know,
game,
and
though.
then-
I feel like AAA, if you're doing like a brand new IP for AAA, I feel like it's very risky. Very risky.
Yeah. And there was even debate about that. It's like, is Expedition truly a indie game? Because like the money they spent on it and like the talent they have and everything, I don't know.
True.
Like there's not a lot of
It's
indie
bull-
games that
yeah,
have that
yeah.
those combos, like those combos. Like
A lot of people
Some
argue it's
indie-
not an indie. Yeah.
some indie games are just made by one dude and that's it. Like
True.
you know what I mean?
Schedule.
So-
Schedule 1, Stardew Valley, right? That's like one dude.
Yeah. I don't know the specifics of schedule, but yeah, there's a lot of games that just get made by like one guy as like a hobby, and it counts as indie. So
That's a good point. I guess I'll try to like fully bring it back over with So, like as you were saying,
it's Expedition 33.
with your
Well, now we know why they get excellent because they hate Expedition. There we go.
how do they hate Expedition? How do they hate that shit? That shit is good.
That's why they're an X. There you go.
True. True.
But yeah,
That
no,
just
go
would've
read.
worked
Sorry,
out.
I didn't mean to cut you off. It's my bad. But yeah.
Let's see. If my girlfriend tells me they like Expedition, I'll be like, all right, this is what we gotta call it. I was joking. Sketch 1 is made by what dude? Sold for 20 on a copy. Ubisoft's. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, going I guess fully back to Chloe. I guess at the end of the day, I think we made up a good point where if you're a super Chloe stan and people don't like your character, it's okay. But I feel like everyone can see how Chloe could be like a top 5 girl character of all time in a game. But
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah. Yeah, I got yeah.
Ritsuki's like,
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't. It's
some
so hard
people's-
because I don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
them. I don't have them like kind of like laid out for me like all the female characters, but I would say she's probably teetering on that. Yeah, I would say
Close.
that.
Like
Yeah.
you could see it being on some I should say like you could see it being on some people's top 5 girl characters, right? That's a better rephrase.
Yeah. I mean, I could see why people would buy into that type of character. Yeah, I could see that. I do agree with what Lynn is saying though. If you like Chloe, then you know.
Hope your family has a nice Oh my god. Have a happy winter.
100%.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
tough.
100% agree with Lynn, but yeah, no.
I could understand that, and I understand the Chloe hate and why people think she's not the best character. Because like the time you meet her and most of the time you experience with her is when she is a teen and super just outgoing, sarcastic. But I feel like that adds to the charm. I feel like she has one of the bigger personalities of a female character though. Like her personality stands out.
Oh yeah, 100%. She definitely has like I
For
said,
better or
the
worse.
personality
Yeah.
the personality is why people latch on to her so hard,
Yeah.
right? Because like
Very unique.
they maybe see a lot of themselves in Chloe, or like and this is kind of just a Life is Strange thing in general. They see characters in Life is Strange that remind them of people that they grew up with.
Agreed.
So it's like it's hard to judge them because they feel like they're judging their kind of friends or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Agreed.
yeah, I mean she's
Chloe fits
like I
that
said,
persona very well.
yeah, she's interesting. Chloe's she's like I said, wouldn't say I hate her. I just don't hold her in the same regard as others. But
Yes, to wrap this question up, because I do still have like an extra last question, but to wrap this one up, I'll just say, I think by the end though of Reunion, I am happy with her character, and I really wanted to see her as an older person now and more mature, and I'm actually really happy with what they did with her, bringing the writer back who did her also for Before the Storm. I think they did a great job with her. Like her
no,
character was
100%
great.
the writer, 100% the writer cooked. Like the writer that wrote Chloe, she cooked, or he cooked, or
They
whoever.
did their
Like they
thing.
cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could see how some people still don't buy it. So, well, okay, here's the big one. This one I wanted to. Woo! All right, I'll start with you, Earthy, again. And the next one I'll start with me. But for this one, what are your thoughts on the character subplots? Who was strong by the end of this game, and who fell flat?
Okay, character subplot. Who was strong? Who fell flat? Okay. So we're specifically speaking about Reunion. Double Explosion doesn't get brought up,
How
right?
about we do both actually for this one? We'll say like so. In
Okay.
Double
As a
Exposure, how did you feel about them, and by the end of Reunion and stuff like that? That's like a full final.
okay. Everyone knows Safi is wifey. Okay, that's Bay. First
You know
off,
what?
like
I'm not gonna lie. By the end of the game, I was
she
kind of
is.
buying into Safi. I was.
She is Bay. I love Safi. She's one of my
Yeah.
favorite characters from this era of Life is Strange.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can I
In
say
Double
something quick?
Exposure.
Sorry. Just something
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
go.
Okay, the first
No, no,
playthrough,
go.
I
You
got
got
her
it.
killed. All right, and I didn't get to
Yeah,
experience the
100%.
feeling at the end, so I didn't really care, and I was like, this is just trash. But then I played it again where I saved her, and I wish we had so much more of Safi. But I'll let you go.
Yeah, no, 100%. Safi's amazing. I really like that character. I would say since we're combining both games, I would say in Double Exposure, I think they did a pretty good job with Safi. I think there were areas of concern that they could have like written better, but I think overall, I think Safi's character really kind of brought me in to Double Exposure, right? I think in Reunions overall, I think it was a setback. Personally,
I agree. Safi was a big setback for Reunion.
I
Yeah.
I think if we're okay, in Double Exposure she was like a core focal point of the game, and I feel like while she was in it, and I did like some of her parts, I think they dialed back on her level of importance in the game. If you really kind of break it down, and I think that the scenes that she was in like I don't know. I just feel like they were a little bit weaker
Yeah.
than they were in Double Exposure. You know what I mean?
There's
Like
a
I
lot to
just
talk about with it, cause like I like how they brought in Chloe being more with Safi, cause I
yeah.
feel like they mix so well together. But we just needed a
hmm
lot more with those two, and even her and Max. And, but,
Also, I don't know if I'm the only one like this, but I feel like they were flirting with the idea of making her a romance option, and they just didn't pull the trigger.
I think they should
You know
have.
what I mean?
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. I think they should have. Yeah.
I feel like they definitely, and like you can kind of tell if you like, especially in like reunion, right?
Mm.
There's a lot of flirtatious moments that she has with even with like her little time with Chloe and with Max,
And with
right?
Max, yeah.
I, f- I feel like they should have pulled the trigger on that. I don't know what was holding them back from that. Maybe it was the fact that the game was
That's
supposed
why.
to be about Max and Chloe, so they didn't
That's
want to take
why.
away from that.
Mm.
But man, I really wish they pulled the trigger on
But
that. I really
I
wish they
do
did
agree that they should
because
have, because they had that part where they let you select if you romance Chloe or not. And I could see for the
yeah,
people who didn't romance Chloe and don't want to, maybe they want to go with Safi.
and
I
maybe
feel like, yeah.
yeah maybe you romance Sophie. Yeah.
Mm-mm. They could
Then
have added
so
more.
yeah, I would say like I said she was good in DE, but in reunions it was kind of a letdown. And also the fact that there's even an option for her to die, I think is very bad writing in my opinion. Not just
Really?
because
You
I
didn't like
love
that?
Sophie, but I was not a fan of her potentially dying. No, I wasn't.
I. Oh, that's tough. I liked it personally in terms of like, hey, our choices matter. But for her being a main character and then dying like Kate Marsh, if you don't pick the right stuff, felt weird. It should have been something more
just
important, dialogue focused.
because of how important her character was to
Yeah.
Double Exposure and how like it felt like she was going to be very important for the new age of Life is Strange, right? Like the new direction that they were going to go in. And it just felt like they killed her, like you said, like Kate, who was a secondary character. So yeah, I just wasn't a huge fan
It
of
was
that
literally a character for
personally.
like 5 minutes, and then you have to save her by some dialogue. It felt like exactly like that.
Yeah, it just and
Sophie's a
Lynn's
main
point that
character.
she just
Yeah.
Lynn's point that she just said, I agree with.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened with Sophie between Double Exposure and Reunion. Well, we know a little tiny bit, but we don't know the full picture, right? It's like we know that she went out on the road looking for those people who also
Didn't
have
find
powers,
him.
which I
Yeah.
think is kind of weird because no one's gonna advertise that, but whatever.
How are you gonna find these
Uh,
people? Like, what are you gonna do? You can't
so,
put out a fucking like
so
sign looking for.
and she said herself that she went out on the road, tried to find them, wasn't successful, came back, right? And so we know that that's what happened, but there's probably things in between that I mean we all know Sophie doesn't tell the truth all the time, so there's probably things
That's
that
true.
she's withholding and whatnot, right? Um, but yeah, I feel like if they would have did that, like showing her progress from Double Exposure to Reunion, showing us the in betweens, would have been so fire. I would have loved
That
that,
would have
but
gone hard. And then have her as a romance
yeah,
character. I feel like
as like
perfect.
a romance, yeah, that would have been heat, absolutely heat.
Almost
Um,
maybe replay again just to romance her, honestly.
yeah,
I think she does
but
fall to the Finn issue though sometimes, where she does have bad choices directly related to her.
choices.
Um,
Yeah, no, she definitely does. I mean, her whole character arc in Reunion is basically trying to convince her that she is good enough on her own. Like she doesn't constantly need to use her shapeshifting power,
yeah,
which she
fair.
does use a shit ton in,
So
by the way.
much.
Like
Yeah.
she it feels like it feels like she's shapeshifting to like every single character in the game. Like she's like
She's like never
she uses it
Safi.
so much.
She's never herself. Which I do like how they explain how that is. You know, she feels like she's not herself. Plus, she also has those issues when she does use her powers. And I like the whole her going through it and needing some, therapy probably. I like that. But she
Yeah.
said, did she even hit the road? She did. She did say that she hit the road with Diamond, right?
Well, again, that kind of gets to the point of what we were talking about with like Sophie withholding some level of truth,
Sure.
because like Lynn said, it could be possible that maybe she didn't even say what she did.
Yeah.
That's a possibility for sure. But if you're to take her at face value, she did say that she hit the road. So I
Mhm.
guess it just depends on if you trust Sophie enough to believe her, or if you think that she would BS that and like lie about that. You know what I mean? So
Okay. No, I agree with you. I think in Double Exposure they built her up really well. At least the first like 3-ish episodes, I absolutely loved her. I think by the end I started reeling back a little bit with like all the choices she starts making, and like let's use our powers for bad, even though you told her hey, we shouldn't. I feel like then she starts to reel back a little bit, kind of a writing issue. And then this game they show you how good she can be as a character in Reunion, like a lot. And there's a few good scenes, but yeah, they should have just had way more. They needed like 2 extra long scenes with her. So yeah.
and also like Lynn was saying, right? One of my favorite scenes is the fact that when she was literally begging both
I like
Max
that
and
scene.
Chloe
Yeah.
to leave with her, right? She did it to both of them.
That
Originally,
actually
she
made
does
me
it to
care.
Max,
It made me care. I didn't
and
care at all,
then
and then I heard that and I was like, alright.
and then when Chloe goes into the fire, she does it to Chloe as Max. So
Yeah.
she clearly wants, like, the whole thing with Sophie is very interesting, right? Because like she doesn't want to be alone. That's very obvious.
Yeah.
So like so blatantly obvious that she doesn't want to be alone. And like I said, she struggles to be herself. So I think it's good with the good ending of Safi to have her and her mother reunite and have them actually kind of work towards a common goal, which is like be together now. Because again, they both have a lot of misunderstandings between each other.
Yeah.
Obviously, Safi views her mom as this control freak that just wants to control her 24/7, and then like Yasmin, she doesn't completely understand Safi either. So obviously, it's cool to see them like working towards a common goal. You know?
Yeah, Lynn's that's a good point. I know. So Lynn was saying, I got something for this, where you said that if she didn't want to be alone, then why would she leave alone? I think she first of all she left with Diamond, I'm pretty sure, but she did mention to Max that after she was gone for a while, she did get lonely and then wanted to see like her mom
Yeah.
and whatnot. Kind of yeah.
I'm. I don't remember if it's 100% said, but it's pretty much implied, Lynn, that she left with Diamond. Her and Diamond hit the road together because of the ending of Double Exposure. Diamond obviously reveals that, well, not reveals, but it gets showed to us, the viewer, that Diamond has powers, right? So Sophie then takes her under her wing, and boom, then that's like a duo at that point. So she hits the road with Diamond to try to find people who are similar to her and Diamond. And according to Sophie, they're unsuccessful. So, but then, like Reed said, eventually, I'm pretty sure her and Diamond like split at some point, and then that's when she becomes lonely and she comes back to the school, and that's when the whole reunion stuff happens. So.
Do you remember what she told Max exactly? I think she said she missed like Yasmin and then also Max. I'm pretty sure, right? And that's why she came back
Yeah,
to
she
kind of
like
watch over them.
yeah, she missed Max and whatnot. And to answer Lynn's question about why not stay, well, that's a part that we don't know,
We'll
right?
figure
Like,
that out.
well, yeah, to your point, something could have happened between her and Diamond, which is why, like Lynn was saying before, we should have seen what happened when Sophie hit the road. You know what I mean? If we had gotten that context, then all of those questions would be answered. Like, why did she leave Diamond? What happened between them? Like, and why did she ultimately decide to come back to the school, right? So, but we don't have that context fully. We just have what was said in reunion.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, the one thing I think this is Chloe and Safi in my opinion. If they just spent an extra like 2 hours at the end, I know that's probably a lot of freaking money, and I know they probably didn't have the money
Oh,
for that.
yeah.
But
100%, yeah.
yeah, but if they did with the whole timeline thing, that could have added so much to those 3 characters. And I feel like both of them needed that, right? If you had to explain that whole timeline issue, 'cause they kind of just glanced over that timeline
Whole
thing
time, look,
completely.
the see in that, and this is where we get into like why initially I rated reunion like a 7.
Yeah,
Because like it's really well done, the scenes between Max and Chloe.
so well.
I just feel like the main story is a little iffy at some point.
Yeah.
Like the whole fire plot point and everything. I mean, come on. There's
so
no
easily
reason.
avoided. Yeah.
There's no reason the whole story needs to be the fire storyline. There's just no reason for that. Like this, that's insane.
The
Like
reason
that's
they did it is so they could bring back the characters like Vin, and characters like that and Yasmin and all those characters, and actually make them have a like Lucas and have a point
Oh
in
yeah,
this. But it's
no,
like,
yeah,
eh,
yeah, no,
yeah,
100%. I just feel like there should be more after the conclusion of the fire, is
hundred
what I
percent.
mean. Like you said, the timeline, they could have spent some more time talking about like, yo, what's
Wrapping
going
that
on with
up.
this timeline?
Yeah,
You
actually,
know, like
yeah.
yeah, give us like more context on like what's going on in this universe.
Mhm.
Why why is this timeline kind of operating the way that it's operating? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of just ends with like Chloe saying, "I guess I'll use this time, like, spend this time wisely with you because I feel like I'm gonna give it a second chance." And it kind of just ends with that. But they could have actually explained it and concluded it and fixed it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, 100%. And real quick, as like a final point on Sophie, the reason I wasn't a huge fan of her potentially dying in this game is because I think for the future
Yeah.
it's a very bad decision. Okay,
You
because
want a main
now,
character, Sophie?
yeah, yeah, obviously, like we've kind of theorized on this a little bit, but I think now they've almost backed themselves into a corner where they have to have Diamond as a main character.
True.
And if not, then it's just gonna be what the fuck have we been doing this whole time, right? I think there's a lot of things that point to Diamond as a main character, and we'll obviously see if it comes to fruition. But I think Diamond as the next like main person with powers in this universe that we learn about, I think it's around the corner. And
Honestly,
I
yep,
think
yep. I agree.
Sophie is so connected to Diamond that having her potentially die in this game means that she may
She
not
might not
be
even be able to
in
show
a
up.
Diamond game,
Yeah.
right? Because of her dying, right? So I just think that's a bad writing call,
I'm gonna
right?
be
It's just like,
honest. If Diamond is the next character and Safi's not in that game, I'm gonna be very disappointed, and I'm probably not even gonna play it because I'm really not interested in Diamond. I'm sorry.
yeah,
But
no, I mean,
I think we're on to something.
obviously they didn't do like, okay, they didn't prop up Diamond in Double Exposure except for the end. That's it. That she was the big bomb at the end, but really like 90% of the game nobody really gave a fuck about Diamond. She was just kind of a background character, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, maybe when she actually gets characterization, it'll actually be good. But
yeah, maybe when they actually like give her some time, then yeah. But right now, she wasn't really a focal point until they dropped that like bomb at the end. That's it.
you know what they could do? I know you mentioned it. They could do main character Safi, but they do it when she left to the road with Diamond. They could do like a small 3 episode game on that, maybe. I don't know.
Like, oh, like kind of like a before the storm
Yeah,
situation. But
exactly.
yeah, yeah,
For Safi.
I got you.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that because again, I feel like I said, I think Diamond is their plan, and I think giving us context as to kind of what Diamond went through on the road, because she clearly went through something, because that little secret phone call that you can get with her and Max
True.
definitely implies that like she went through some shit
Mhm.
and she's still going through some shit, which it kind of gives a slight hint as to what her power is. Not obviously confirmed, but it's a little bit of a hint that like obviously her power has to be something that really really eats at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I just,
because
yeah.
I think about it, right? When it comes to Sophie, right? Her power shapeshift, right? What does that mean for Sophie? It means that she never feels good enough
She's herself. Yeah.
because she's always shapeshifting into people, right? Max, what is it? Rewind, right? What does that mean for Max, right? She can never have a stable relationship with most people because they always feel like she's rewinding in time,
To
right?
fix everything.
So it's
Yeah, that would ruin
to fix
everything, man.
everything.
I'd be pissed.
So so that's what eats at Sophie and that's what
When they
eats
broke
at
up.
Max, right?
Yeah.
So what could be a power that would eat at Diamond to the point where she would have to call Max and be like, I need your help? Because that's essentially what she did. She was like, yo, this is like kind of messing with me. And when she asked Max, is it a blessing or a curse? Like, that's your sign right there. She views this power as something that is a negative. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it has to be
Like,
something kind of bad. That has like, it could be used as good, but it has a lot of negative issues.
that has a lot of negative things, right?
Like reading
Like we
people's
were saying
minds.
before,
Yeah.
like mind reading, right? Like that's something that I think if you
Might be onto
spin
it.
it the right way, I think mind reading is. I would put mind reading high on the to what her powers is, right? Because, bro, mind reading could be so fucked because it could be a good, maybe if
I'd
you're
be
mind
really
reading
bad.
somebody who is, you know what I mean? But then you can also maybe see it as a negative because then how could you, kind of similar to Max's
Look at
rewind power,
Max. Yeah.
how could you be in a relationship with somebody if they think you're constantly reading their mind? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
That would be
even if you're not
annoying.
doing it on, even if you're not doing it on purpose, you're still like they know about it, so you're still doing it technically. Like, you're still.
It would suck, especially if you couldn't turn it off, which that might be her thing, where she can't turn it off. Like, it just no matter what, if
Yeah,
she
she
looks
can't.
at
Yeah,
somebody,
it's just not
yeah,
nonstop. Yeah,
that would be tough. So I think you're on. I think we're honestly. I think you called it, Ritsky. I think
'cause
you were
I
the
don't,
first one to say that, and I'm pretty sure it might be
because
that.
I don't, because I don't think that, because Alex technically could read minds, but that was more so like if somebody was feeling something.
Emotions,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, but like as like a just like true like all-purpose mind reader, we haven't had that. So, and I don't think they would double up on powers. So I think they're looking for an original power, and I think it has to be mind reading. I know we kind of floated the idea of like a mind control. I just think that would be way too OP.
It'd be
So
too
I don't think they
much.
would.
Yeah, it'd be
I don't
too
think they would do
much.
that. So
Well, I mean, that would be too much. It'd be cool, but it'd probably be stronger than Daniel at that point. Because then she could really just
so
like,
mind control would be the strongest ability of any Life is Strange character.
oh
Because she could just mind control Sophie to shapeshift for her.
yeah.
You can mind control Daniel to go fuck up a town for her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm very curious what they
just
do.
mind,
That's it though. And then I guess I'll give her a
just
chance.
mind control, just mind control Max. Hey, go rewind time for me.
Yeah.
Like,
That's wild.
yeah. So
Mess up the whole
I
game.
think, I think leading forward. So like they pretty much confirmed this was like the last like time Max and Chloe are gonna be main characters, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They said like their
So
final conclusion.
I think potentially we could see, and I was thinking about this earlier a little bit. I think potentially Max could show up in a Diamond game,
I agree.
but I don't think it would be on camera. I think it would be more of an off
It's like a
camera,
text type
like
deal.
yeah, texts and calls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we know that, especially the fact that Diamond reaches out to Max, we know that her and Max are close.
Mhm.
So in a Diamond-led game, I think she would maintain that relationship
Plus,
and still reach out to Max. You know what I mean? So
actually, does Diamond know that Max has power? No, she does, because she asked her, is it a curse? 'Cause
yeah,
I know
she
they
does.
did that
This is a
whole
curse. So,
weird plot twist thing where it's like no one
where like
remembers
everyone's
anymore.
mind was like wiped clean. Yeah.
I get why they had to do that, otherwise the whole story would have just been irrelevant, because Max could just tell everyone,
Yeah, the
hey
whole
guys, I have this power, so now we gotta just fix this quick. This whole
yeah.
fire
No, I was just
situation.
it's like, hey Vin, that fire you're thinking about setting, I already know it's happening. Like relax, buddy. I already know. So yeah, they had to do it.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, I think Max would just show up off screen. Because I think
I agree.
if you were to show Max on screen, you get into that slippery slope again, and I don't think they should do that. So I think just a phone call, maybe a text, I think it's fine. But
Phone call
yeah,
would be cool. Just like maybe Diamond's
yeah,
having an issue and she just needs some support from someone who's had powers for a long time. That would be a cool scene.
yeah.
To have Max kind of like.
And
Yeah.
that would be where Sophie would place in if you didn't give her the option to die. So
I do agree. I
'cause
think I
she-
would have actually liked Safi to be Diamond's helper over Max.
yeah, Diamond's helper, yeah. Because again, if Diamond was the main character, you're now kind of, you know, bringing in a new era of Life is Strange. Like, okay, Diamond is kind of gonna play like, not comparing her to Max, but she's gonna play that Max role, and Sophie would be like the Chloe to her Max, essentially. You know what I mean? Because like Sophie and Chloe, they kind of share some similarities. So in terms of like having a like kind of just open out there personality. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
So obviously not completely the same, but there are similarities that people can draw. So.
Square Enix, if you use the ideas, you know where to find us. No.
Yeah, yours a little million. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take.
That's what we need. Nah, but if you're asking me, if they were like to watch this stream, I'd be like, should we use Diamond as a main character? Honestly, no. Make new
Honestly,
characters.
fuck it, fuck
I'm gonna
it.
be honest with you. Please make new characters. At this
I
point.
just think,
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you that phone call was a dead giveaway for me.
Yeah.
I just think that phone call was the cherry on top. I'm like, when I heard the context of the call, I was like, yeah, they're making her the next main character.
I agree.
There's just no way around it. Like, there's just no.
I'll give it a chance because, like you said, we didn't have much time with her as a character. We'll give her a chance. I think, right? I think the community would too, honestly. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like people would probably be down to give her a chance. You know, depends on kind of what the content of her thing is, but yeah,
Like her
I'll
power,
take
yeah.
was that
20,000
as as a witness.
Damn.
Hey, hey, listen.
We about to
Hey, wait, hold on. We
bankrupt.
gotta be careful because maybe Lynn might sell our ideas, and patent that shit.
Bro.
So, hey, we gotta be
Someone
careful. Nah, I'm just playing.
Someone might come into stream and take that shit. Send it to. You never know.
Yeah, send it to Square Enix. Yeah. Nah, I'm just fucking around. Nah. Hey, 20K as a witness, that's not that bad.
That's cheap.
We can, cut Lynn off a little 20K, a little right there. You know what I'm saying?
Off the
Cut it
milli.
off 20K. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we get a mil each, that's 2 mil. 20K ain't nothing. We can even throw Lynn like a 40K right there.
That's a
You know
good
what I'm saying?
40K.
Like that. Yeah, that ain't even nothing. That.
Anyone else want to
Throw a
claim
little
Lynn
something.
now? Yeah, okay. I think we did a good job talking about the Safi, Diamond.
I know. Originally, you asked about just like the sub characters, but
It's too hard.
Selfie, I think
Yeah.
Selfie's like the best sub character, other than like Moses, who I think. I know Lynn was talking about this the other night
If
when
you want to talk about
I was in stream,
Yeah.
talking about like Moses kind of suffers from like bad writing in the first game, and I do agree to some extent he did not get the best writing in Double Exposure, but I definitely feel like they made him more enjoyable as a second character in Reunion. For
I was gonna say
I would say
Moses
so.
like really shines in Reunion. Yeah, because in
Yeah, Moses carried a lot for sure.
in Double Exposure you can see the potential, but it never happens with him. But um in Reunion, I like how he gets with Chloe and Max, both amazing characters, and when he's talking to both amazing characters, and he has a lot with them too, he really shines as a character. I think they did great with him in Reunion. He is probably the third best done character in the game, right?
Yeah, since I mean it's literally it's like it's Max, Chloe, Sophie, Moses. That's what it is in Reunion. That's that's what I would
That's
give
the
it to.
problem with
Those
the game.
four.
All right, we see the issue. I love this game. I think Reunion. I think they did it. I guess we'll talk more about that at the end. But
Yeah.
I think the only issue with all the subplots is like there's only like 4 pretty good characters. Like I think Vin. I will say I did like how Vin ended if you actually get to keep him alive. But him, what was that dude's name? Owen and Yasmin should be in prison. Is that
Yeah,
me?
no, they
Yeah.
100% they should be locked up for sure.
Those 3 gotta be
Uh,
locked up.
Yasmin definitely got to go behind some bars.
That's what I'm saying. Lactose
I'm glad
bitches
I'm
up.
glad that Sophie's reuniting with her mother, but
True.
she gotta do it behind
Behind
the cell
the
for a little
bar.
bit. Yeah, behind the cell. She gotta go in there.
For like a few months, just to like y'all did cover up a dead body. That's like an extreme crime, isn't it? Like not
Yeah,
reporting
no,
a
for
dead
sure.
body. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I feel like you can definitely get some time for that. So, I mean, Vin, look, Vin is like, Vin is cool. I
I
will
think
say,
good with his ending actually. If you keep him alive. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like if you look at his whole story and like everything in account for it, I feel like he is now significantly better than Amanda. And like I said, I know the
Agreed.
bar is at the floor, but like he's still, they improved on him. Now Amanda, they didn't really improve on her. She was kind of worthless in Reunion. Meaningless, does nothing.
One advice she gives you is completely fucking wrong.
See, yeah, actually, it's actually wrong on both fronts
It
because if
really
you think about it, she says, "Oh, Ren is my guy,"
All the other people
that,
she hates.
and then she's like, "Oh, when Chloe's like, "Who do you think did it?" At first, she's like hesitant, but then she does circle around to like, "Oh no, I think Joey's the main suspect." Like what? So both times you gave us shit advice.
Yeah.
Like that's just like
It could be
that's just
Lucas.
bad.
Joey is sus, but Ren, he's good. Trust me. Trust me.
Yeah, Ren, that's my guy. He would never burn down a bunch of buildings. Like, come on, that's my dude. Like what? Like
I think
yeah. So
not to mention.
Vin for sure improved over her. Like
Wait, do you
obviously,
know?
I still think
Oh, I didn't think about this, Ritsky. What was if you
whatever.
actually romance Amanda? I'm sure it changes up, right? The game, this one.
Well, well, I don't think so
You don't
because
think anything happens
in my
differently?
in no in my playthrough, right?
Yeah.
I did I did romance Amanda as the
Oh, you
like
did.
the backstory. Yeah, I did
Oh, okay.
romance Amanda. I did keep Chloe alive ending, right?
Oh
And then I
shit.
did Chloe and Max were like lovers or in a relationship, whatever, right? And Amanda still isn't good. Like even in that playthrough, when you romance her, like at all, like she isn't like good. So
Okay, yeah.
I don't see the appeal for the character. The only difference that
That's
it makes
pointless.
is that when you tell Chloe that that you like were in a relationship with somebody, because obviously Chloe meets Amanda at one point when she goes snapping turtle.
Yep.
So you know the only thing that changes is the fact that Chloe is like, oh yeah, she's cute, you know. I'm sure y'all will be like good together or
That's true.
whatever.
Okay.
So you know, she's like kind of like she's just teasing Max essentially, right? So that's all that it comes down to. That's it.
I see.
But yeah,
I Okay, so it's just pointless. All right. Well,
yeah, romance in her wasn't really. It doesn't change.
like
I think probably romance in Vin would change more since he's more of a key focal point of the story.
yeah, I think
But
the
yeah,
biggest issue then, I feel like with Double Exposure and Reunion would be like Gwen as a character, because she just completely gone, and you have to spend a lot of time with Gwen.
100%.
Yeah, you have to like they
And
force you to spend time with her.
and the difference between her and Diamond is that
Yep.
because people would be like, well, Diamond's gone too. So, but the difference is that they make you like aware that Diamond is still alive and
Yep.
very much a focal point in this universe.
Mhm.
Gwen just completely disappears off
She's
the map,
gone.
just completely. Like that's the
And you had to spend a
that's the
decent amount
difference.
of hours with her as a character.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, her story, bro, the way they were hyping up her story in Double Exposure was crazy. I thought it was gonna be like some like nuclear, like mind changing thing, and it just like I don't know, it just wasn't that. It didn't hit like the way they thought it was gonna hit, you know?
I don't want to be this guy. I want to say it, but I don't. I don't want to get kids. No, okay, I'll say it. With
I'm pretty sure I know.
yeah.
Wait, I think I know where you're gonna go. I'll say
Do you think they added
that
her
my
just because of that? You know what I mean?
okay. I think look, I'll say it. Fuck it. Okay.
For the money
I think
bags.
I think they did potentially add Gwen just to be a placeholder for having a trans character in the game. And
100%.
that's no disrespect
Yeah, no
to
disrespect.
anyone who is trans. I just feel like they wanted her identity more than giving Gwen a actual like interesting story.
100%.
Personally, I don't think Gwen's story was that interesting. I just think that they gave her
Which
boom. Okay, we have a trans character, good representation,
I think
right?
sucks
But
even
like,
more, right? For like people who are
yeah,
wanted to see a good
I mean,
character, you know?
100,
Yeah.
bro, 100%. Imagine you're like somebody who's like trans, right?
Yeah.
And you're hearing that the new Life is Strange has a trans character. You're excited, right? You're like, oh,
Mhm.
shit, like that's representation. But then you get into the game and the character isn't what you
It's
think
so
that they are,
bad.
and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, why did they put like
It's
you know
more of a
my community
disservice.
in here? Yeah, it's like it's like the same way that I feel whenever there's like a character of color in a game and their sole focal point is to just be the black
Just
character.
the
Like I
yeah.
just think that's stupid. Like I just think that's like you know what I mean? Like give us well written, well thought out characters of color and characters from marginalized communities and not just to be a placeholder. Like that's
It's
so stupid. Like so
it's it's honestly the same thing with like their first game, Life is Strange 1, where it's like woman was not normal to have a character as a main
Yeah.
character woman, but they did a great job writing the characters, and that's why people love the game. It's all it takes to do the same.
And
Yeah,
because they actually believed in Max as a character,
exactly.
right? Remember,
Yeah.
I remember reading the article of them saying so many companies wanted them to switch. They wanted Max to be a guy, right? But Dontnod was like, no, we're not changing. Like, she's a girl, and this is our story, and that's it. Like, so
You see where
yeah,
it took them. You see where that shit took them. So just make good characters. You know, just throw random characters in there, just because you want to
so
fit an
I've
agenda.
I've always been of the mindset that we should rate good characters no matter of who they are,
Exactly.
and just let people enjoy good characters. I don't, me personally, listen, I'm a person of color. I'm not gonna be upset if a game has 99% white people. Like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna offend me. Like, at all. Like, I don't know why these companies are. We have to cater to people of color or from the LGBTQ community because of this. You don't have to cater to them. Just rate good characters. And if they happen to be
That's all we
gay,
want, right? That's all we
then who
want.
cares? Like, no
Yeah.
one cares. No one is gonna care if a well-written character is gay. No one's gonna care.
Right.
But it's the
Speaking facts
problem
out
of
here.
like making a character gay and then rating them poorly. Then you're like, oh, people are hating them because they're gay. Everybody. I'm sure there's a small section of people that do, but like most people are hating them because like their story sucks. It has nothing to do with like, you know what I mean? Like,
You might have people who go in not liking, certain, you never know. Like you could have some racist people going into this game, and then they play it, and they're like,
yeah,
wait a second, like I actually really like these characters. They have great writing, and like maybe they, especially if it's like something like trans related, and just don't understand it, and you do it proper justice, they actually might be able to like, possibly relate.
no,
to some people.
100%. I'll even give you a good example of like something I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I was trying to think of a
Have
good
you
example, but they always do them so
have you
wrong.
personally? No, I have a, not for trans, but for like gay, right?
Okay, yeah.
So have you played Final Fantasy 16 or no?
16, yes, but I only got like halfway through, so I don't think I got to the part.
Okay,
Yeah.
so so the prince that you meet in the game,
Mhm.
he controls the dragon, right? Like the what's his? I can't remember his name. He's the
FF16?
prince. What happened?
Dion?
Yeah, yeah. I think it begins with a D. I think. I'm pretty sure it
Dion,
does. It's
let's
like yeah,
aim.
it's like yeah, it's like something like that. But he can turn into the dragon that you fight
Oh,
at the
he's
end of the game.
is he Bahamut?
Yeah, Bahamut. Yeah,
Oh
he can
shit,
transform into
okay.
Bahamut. Yeah.
Damn, I need to beat
So
this game, bro.
his human form, right? He is gay because there's the scene
Mhm.
where he's literally like basically admitting that he is into one of the soldiers that works under him,
Yeah.
right? But they don't just make it so that he's gay. They actually give him a fucking top tier story.
Mhm.
Bro, the prince in that game is one of my favorite characters. He's
Oh,
so
you're selling me.
badass.
I gotta play this.
Like
Yeah, I gotta finish this
he's
game.
so
And that's
he's
what
so
we.
badass.
That's what I'm saying, and that's just what we want. Like, if you just give us a good character like that with Gwen, if they did Gwen like that, you know,
Yeah.
it
And
sucks.
Bahamut is that's one of the crazier boss fights at the end, by the way. When you get
Bahamut's
to that part,
yeah.
you'll see it, but it's like
Bahamut is
insane.
definitely one of the
Like,
most iconic Final Fantasy 14 primals. Definitely super super.
yeah. So when I'm telling you, when you get to that boss fight, it's gonna be crazy. I don't know what I think I played it on normal, so I think if you go like hard, it's like just good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, I think that's good on Gwen. I'm glad we talked about that because I didn't want to like be that guy and talk about it, but I think at the end of the day, just make a good character, irregardless, and people will love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like Lynn said,
Irregardless.
like
Yeah.
even Lynn said, like I hate representation. Just make good characters.
Yeah,
Hundred
that's all we
percent.
care
That's what
about.
you do. Like even with Lynn, right? Like
Hmm.
okay, it's like do we make a main character who's a woman because then women will buy the game? Like
Exactly.
okay, you can make a woman as the main character, but write her a good story. Like
Yeah, like
Why is that
Literally, just
so?
you
I don't
guys
know why
did
that's
this
so
with Life is
controversial.
Strange.
That's
Like, yeah,
like
like Life is Strange 1, you did this. You made like girl characters, especially at the time when that wasn't normal, and you did an amazing job at it, and people loved it. You can do it again with Gwen as a trans. Yeah.
and there's so many examples of like people loving like either a woman character or maybe a gay character or
Mhm.
a person of color because they have a good story and people actually resonate with them, right?
Yeah. That's
Not
that's
to
what's.
stick in like the not to stick in the Final Fantasy universe, but look at what they did for the character of like Barret in Final Fantasy VII, right? In the original Final Fantasy, he's
Uh-huh.
really all he's known as is he's just big black and has fucking gun as a hand, right?
Yeah.
That's really all. That's all Barret's
Basic.
known as,
Yeah.
right? But in Final Fantasy VII Remake, they give him the element of like showing his daughter and showing
I love that scene.
like
It was really well
showing the
done.
connection
Mhm.
that why does Barret fight as hard as he does? Why is
He
he
was
so
fighting
aggressive?
for her, cause like he
he,
remember. Oh, I don't want
he
to spoil too much, but they even do more with Rebirth. They do
he
more,
does
man.
it
It's so good.
he does it because of his daughter. He
Yeah.
wants his daughter to have a world where she can grow up and like just be normal. You know what I mean? And that gives so much characterization to the
That's
character
all it
of
takes.
Barret.
Yeah.
He's not just the big buff black guy with a fucking gun as an arm. He now is a fully fledged character who you have a reason to care about and to root for
Mhm.
because of his motivations. That's why. So
Exactly.
that's literally all it is. Like Barrett's shit was so simple. You show us his daughter, we care about him now.
Care about
Not
him.
saying
Yeah.
people didn't care about Barrett
And
before, but
yeah,
like people now have a reason to pull for this guy
actually like him
because they
exactly.
see what he's doing. You know, that's all it comes down to.
And now he's a character. It doesn't matter whatever he is, but now he's a character that people like. And I feel like that's what they needed to do with Gwen. But yeah.
Like Gwen got Gwen, bro. She got fucking done dirty.
So
Like
bad. They just kicked her off the show basically. They're like, all right, you're gone. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is though. I
yeah,
think.
and also Lynn, not to get too like off topic. Well, it's not really off topic, but Lynn was like, except if the genre is not a genre you typically pick up, then it makes zero sense to make a game for women genre, which makes sense. Like, you know, why would you make a woman the main character of a
That's fair.
game that you know that like men typically play? It you know what I mean? Because at
That's
that
fair.
point it just feels stupid. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you know, if the obviously you can make like women characters, like, you know, you got to pick and
Yep.
choose where you put them, basically.
That's fair. Definitely marketing 101. You know, I think we did a great
Yeah,
job talking about. I'm thinking, have we missed any subplot characters? So we talked about Finn. I actually did like his ending. Kind of concluded that we talked about Safi,
well,
Diamond,
I guess we can speak a little bit about
Gwen.
Loretta. She was also kind of a
Oh,
point
good
in
point.
reunion. You know what I mean? Like
Loretta.
she I the my kind of conclusion for Loretta, and I said this to you before. I don't know if they wanted her to be like a focal point or if they didn't want her. I feel like
It's
there
like
was like
teetered, right? It was teetered. She was the teetered
yeah,
character, back and forth. Yeah.
you know, I feel like there was some people in that writers' room that were like something, and then there was some people who
Yeah.
were like,
Keep
yeah,
her
we
out.
don't fuck with her.
Yeah,
Like
keep her
yeah,
out.
like
I will say, I think Loretta was probably like in Reunion at least, she was probably like the fifth best written character, right? Fifth maybe sixth. In terms of like, I think it was obviously Max, Chloe are the best, and then I think you go to Moses as third, and then maybe somewhere in the fourth. But would you say like she's maybe like fifth or fourth best? At least they did
oh,
her the most justice in this game in
I would
terms
say
from double exposure.
again,
Yeah.
yeah, because like we barely see her in double
Yeah.
exposure. Like you
Exactly.
see her maybe like once or twice, and then that's kind of it. um, in reunion, she has more screen time, which again kind of plays into what we've been saying about kind of these two Life is Strange games is that you hardly see her, like you hardly see characters, and it's hard to like care about characters if you hardly see them.
Exactly.
So just show people the character more, and they will be a group of people who rock with her, right? So it's like you know, she got more screen time. That's kind of all this gets summed up to. I think people got to see more of her personality. You know, some liked it, some just mid, some didn't care for her. So
Mhm. Yeah, I guess like written wise, it was not the best. Like you said, they definitely have her trying to come in sometimes, and then they'll take her out a lot, and she bounces back and forth. But the scenes we did have with her, so there was a few, right? There's like the underground where you're in the house with her when like you're trying to
I'll see.
detonate the bombs. I think that was pretty good, and it's like where she finally sees that Max is actually like kind of badass. And I like the news
100%.
report.
And like when they ended up changing, because remember, because Max is there and because Max like saves her there, it completely changes the timeline because now it's not gonna start of because of her dying, because that's the whole reason the protest started,
Yep,
was because she died, right?
that's true.
Now that that part has changed, well, now there's gonna be a new reason as to why everything starts, right? So it almost felt like Max saving her there, almost kind of like, almost kind of made her character irrelevant. I feel
Well,
like
I think there's
had
actually another issue too with this. Like, isn't saving a character like that kind of what we learned in Life is Strange 1 could ruin everything? Okay, we won't talk about that. That's going too far down. Or technically, you changed the timeline and saved Loretta, just kind of like not good. Uh,
yeah, no, yeah, there's a lot of
turn, yeah.
some I would say there's probably some lore inconsistencies between the two games, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So,
probably more for the end where we just talk about like final thoughts on the game. But yeah, I mean, definitely a little bit of issues. I think just mainly with the timeline and stuff like that and the storm. But yeah, I personally I didn't really care about Loretta in this game though. I'm gonna be honest. Like at the end of the day, I didn't really care as much. I actually cared more about Vin by the end than her, and I cared more about Safi, even though we said Safi probably had like the worst compared from double exposure to this game. She definitely gets done way worse in Reunion. So yeah, I didn't really care for Loretta by the end. I don't know.
you know, 100%. She wasn't a character I like. She wasn't a character I would say I, you know, cared for. I would just say that um
Yeah.
she got more she like I said, she got more screen time. That's really all it comes down to. Like
Which I
she
think it's okay. Like it could have been worse. It could have been characters we didn't care about, but I think Loretta was okay
yeah.
pick to bring in.
Lo- Loretta's not a bad character.
Yeah.
It's just that you know, she kind of suffers from some of the poor writing that some of the other characters kind of suffer.
Exactly.
Just because somebody gets like a lot of screen time doesn't mean that the character's written. Just means that they show up a lot. That's all it kind of comes down to. So
I think like we've pretty much touched already on like the really important characters, but I guess now we're kind of just like side where I feel like Lucas feels the same way too, right? Like Lucas didn't really get much
yeah,
this game, even less than Loretta.
Lucas was. It almost felt like Lucas was kind of almost made to be a big part of this game,
Hmm.
but then like his storyline just like fell flat. You know what I mean?
See, that's
It's
why
like
I thought it
okay,
was him for a second. Cause I'm like, they gotta do something with Lucas. Like he has to have some
yeah, like
importance in this
I'm
story.
like
Yeah.
like the way they were hyping it, it's like okay, now he works at the school, and now he has a podcast. He's
Hmm.
kind of like riling these people up. You know what I mean? I almost felt like he was gonna be more important. He just kind of falls flat in his face.
He
Like his
does.
story arc doesn't really move me like that, honestly. And if we're talking about fall flat, we cannot be failed to mention Jeanette.
Oh
Okay,
God.
get that chick out of my face.
Dude,
I
I think
cannot
I
stand that
watched.
chick.
Okay, I
I
think
cannot.
you know the person we rated. It was like was her name Gourmet or whatever. I remember. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
she's like, who was Jeanette or something like that. Someone said that about her when they
Yeah, it's
died
like,
at the end. They're like, who was
bro,
Jeanette?
no,
Jeanette.
legit, nobody. And look, I'm sorry for the actress that voiced her, but legit, nobody cares about this chick. Like, actually, like
You know,
she's one
it's
of
something I wanted to bring up though by the end, like when we talk about final thoughts on this game. But I did really enjoy from this game. I already said this a bunch, but how they actually give us time with Max's students now, like Max actually being a teacher. I really wanted that, and I'm super glad we got that here. But they should
yeah.
have given like
I was,
characters like Jeanette a little bit more. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why they even introduced Jeanette to
Yeah.
not give her anything. Like, it just made no sense. Like, at least Ren gets the plot of him being a fucking dick. Like,
For real.
like what does Jeanette get? Like what?
Yeah.
And then Owen gets the plot of him like covering shit up, but Jeanette's just there, like literally just there. But
Saving
I
her
will
is
agree with
hard
you.
too. Saving her is it's not hard. You just have to like look at a board when you're max, and the board shows that she's going to this thing, and then you just gotta tell Noelle to
Right.
find Jeanette. But it's like, I do really care if she dies. Not really.
Yeah, again, because you don't really know
You
shit
don't know
about her.
her. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you don't. You're not really moved if she does. Like,
Yeah.
people who are trying to get the perfect playthrough, yeah, of course they're gonna want to save her, but you don't really care, honestly. Like, she's not that good of a character.
I think like subplots can kind of just be the character sides character subplots can kind of just be boiled down to how much budget do they have, and a lot of these
Right.
characters they just didn't care to give them too much screen time, which I think they picked the right characters to give screen time. But Safi, I think Safi should have gotten way more, but I think they picked the right characters to give screen time. But like you said, instead of giving Jeanette screen time and characters like this, they should have just given Safi more. Right? Is
Even
that just
that,
me?
even that little bit of screen time that Jeanette got, though that Sophie's would. Hell,
Bro.
that little bit
Yeah.
of that little, you know what I'm saying? Or hell, give it to Loretta. Or I don't care, somebody like give it to Loretta.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie though, by the end of the game, especially when I saved Safi, I was like, I wish we got more of Safi. I felt really bad for her at the end. I was just like, damn, I wish we got a little bit
Oh,
more with
bro,
her.
I'm telling you,
I liked her.
she's such a good like, bro. From the minute I loaded up Double Exposure, bro, I was like, yo, I rock with this chick. Her,
Dude, the
whoever
first 2 episodes of Double
is playing,
Exposure, I was like, yes, she's good. She's actually good. I like her. Yeah.
whoever is writing, like not writing, but whoever like played her did a phenomenal job. Like the
Agreed.
actress that played her, she did so good. Like,
We don't have to talk about that with the character subplots. All the voice actors, great job. I didn't notice anything bad with the voice acting. This isn't about the voice acting. All the people who
no,
did
it's
voice
not.
acting did great.
It,
Yeah.
yeah, it's never about the actors or actresses. It's just the fact, do we like this character? And it's not even just about the performance. It's more so about the writing. Like, did they get a lot of screen time? Did they get a good like story? Do we know about them?
Hmm. And by the end, I felt so bad for Safi though, because her whole thing of, where you could tell she just needs someone to actually be with. That's all she wants. She just wants someone to be with, to not leave her. And it's
Yeah,
like, damn,
no.
I wish we got a little bit more with her. But
Yeah, 100%. That's why I said earlier, like, there's parallels between her and Chloe. I feel like early on in the early games, Chloe was like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like especially in Before the Storm, right? Like she wants somebody because of what happened with her dad, right? Her dad passing away,
Exactly.
and
Just
I think
Chloe.
obviously Sophie, I think the only death that Sophie experienced was her friend Maya, but obviously that was a huge like trigger point for her. So
You know, I realized this at the end of the game, but Chloe and Safi have like so much in common. Like they're basically almost the same characters in a way. Very close characters.
they are they are very similar. People gotta people gotta realize the parallels between them. Like yeah, there are differences for sure, but Chloe and Sophie are more in common than people would want to admit.
It sucks too, because like I really loved her and Chloe together. I thought that was actually almost better than her and Max, right? Or is that just me? I think they fit so well together, those two.
Oh,
We need more Chloe and
Sophie,
Safi.
yeah, yeah, Sophie was yeah, her and Chloe, that was an interesting dynamic. Like it was
I don't know
it was
if you missed
interesting.
at the end, if you read like a text message, you could see that her and Safi are still like really good friends at the end of the game. If you read like the
What
text message.
Chloe and Sophie or Max and Sophie?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Chloe, Safi are actually like really good friends at the end. So in the scene where you're in the recording room or whatever, the back room for the music area, you can look on your phone and there's like a text message between Safi and Chloe. You can tell like they're actually like they became pretty good friends and keep up with each other. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, no, I didn't see that text, but that would make sense. you know, in that kind of playthrough because they're obviously like really connected
Mm.
through Max, obviously, but
They even
you
like
know
put off a
they
show
have.
for her because like they wanted her to go to it. They said so. Like they said we'll hold off on the show for you to come next time and see it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Also, there's obviously the depending on your choices. There's I guess it's like two different ways that Moses can like view Chloe.
Hmm.
Moses can either like view her as like a really good friend, or like more of like kind of just an acquaintance through
That I didn't
Max.
see. I didn't understand that. What it meant that at the
Yeah,
final screen. Like what did that mean?
at the
Cause
final screen. So it's like I think there's things where because you know how there's that part where Chloe goes and visits Moses, right?
yeah,
And to talk about the timeline stuff. I think there's things that you can find in Moses's like kind of studio
yeah.
where him and Chloe can talk about it. And I think if the more you like kind of connect with Moses, I think the more the friendship grows. But I could be wrong about that because I only saw it at the final screen. I just saw there was like two different ways Moses can portray view Chloe. So
I thought that was cool. I honestly, I guess we could talk more about that at the end, but I think they did a great job with a lot of your choices actually do matter in this game. I
I mean I was telling you how there's gonna be a lot of like replayability I think
Mhm.
with this game in particular.
There was. I'm not gonna lie. Like doing the whole playthrough again and like making sure to save everyone, it actually like added a lot to the game. I was pretty happy with it. Getting to save Safi, I felt so bad I killed her on the first play. I wasn't paying
Yeah, no, that
attention.
was crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't
The
paying
whole
attention.
the whole rent thing was like obviously crazy,
I
but
spent
then
40 minutes contemplating if it was
but then
red,
it
Joey,
goes
or Lewis.
but then it goes straight into the Chloe and Sophie segment, and
Yeah.
then next thing I see is just Sophie just gets shot, and I'm bro, this nah, I know Reed's going through it right
Dude,
now
I was
because
so
there's
like
no
pissed at
way.
the whole red thing and I wasn't paying attention and then next thing you know, I thought it wouldn't matter because I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a scene at the end where Max and Chloe and Safi get together and they have to fix this whole timeline thing. And based on that, we're gonna have some deaths. Like Chloe might die, Max might even die, Safi could die. Like that's why I was like, okay, Safi will be fine. This is not where she goes out if I mess up, right? And then she dies. I was like, oh fuck. But
Yeah,
yeah, I was going through it. It was a rough first playthrough, to say the least. Mainly just Safi. Like Safi dying definitely makes your game not as like you're ending it not as rewarding.
yeah, no, the Sophie thing changes, definitely changes a little bit for sure.
And you said you liked True Colors. Same actually. True Colors grew on me the older I got.
Yeah, True Colors was one of my personal favorites. I probably
Really,
would
it's yours too.
say yeah, I would put it at number one for sure. I would
Damn,
put it.
number one. I would say number one if the ending was done better. I love True
What
Colors though.
what why weren't you a fan of the ending if you don't mind me asking?
I just the only thing it feels like it kind of happens too fast. Like the whole Jed trading on you,
Because
um,
yeah,
and just like it kind of leads to like it could have been done like a little better, but I did see why they wanted to do it kind of fast, where you just get shot by him and like it's a huge jump. But I feel like it could have built
yeah,
up a little better. Yeah.
yeah, no, 100%. So like, was it the how many episodes are in True Colors again? Is it
It's
five like
five.
normal or
Yeah, but they're
okay?
short. Yeah.
So like episode 4 ending is where it gets revealed that Jeb is the one that like he's doing the dirty shit basically.
Yep.
And then it felt like they went from like, oh my god, Jeb is the bad guy, or bad in quotations, depend how you view Jeb, but he's the bad guy, to like you said, they kind of just like sped it up type, like stuff like that. Like they went from like point A to point B in like 2 seconds. It felt like, you know. Um, but yeah, I would say like True Colors was my favorite one for sure. I think a lot went
It
into it
grew on
though.
me a
I,
lot. Yeah, so much
I
that game.
I think the fact that that was the first one that they ended up like using motion capture, so it made the game
Mm,
look significantly better.
that's true.
But also the fact that like I like Alex as a main character. I
Alex
like the
was really well
power of
done.
like
Yeah.
I like the power of like emotion, like feeling the like if somebody feels the emotion too strongly, then Alex is gonna feel that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I like that. I like it, and I feel like the characters in True Colors, the secondary characters, were very well done. I like Ryan. Obviously, everyone loves Steph. Um,
Dude, okay,
you
Steph and
know,
Ryan. Okay, this is why True Colors is such a good game. It's because the romance, whoever writ the romance for those two characters, is definitely the best done. Definitely the best written, and that was the most important thing with the game, since it's like a whole game about emotion, and they really cooked up with that shit. I think that's why that game was so
I
good,
didn't.
right?
Unless I did not like the power of emotion, but I still like True Colors. Yeah, I mean, emotion is like it's kind of hit
A
or
little
miss depending
boring.
on who, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah, it's obviously if we're looking at like powers, okay, Alex is gonna be lower on the tier list because it's I mean
That's
it's
gonna be the
emotion.
lowest,
Like,
but
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be like you like you
that's like the
can't compare
Hawkeye.
it
You
to
know what I mean? Like,
Daniel is just a do it all kind of one, and then like Sophie's a shapeshifter, Max can rewind time, Alex can feel emotion. Right, it's the lowest on the, you know what I mean? But like,
that's definitely like if there wasn't an Avengers level threat situation, she would not be on the front lines.
yeah,
She would.
I mean, she would not be doing anything. Like Daniel, Max, and Sophie is carry, and hell, we don't even
Yeah.
know Diamond's power, but we know it's better than emotion.
Daniel is
Like we know it's
soloing.
better.
Yeah, Daniel is soloing in the front line.
Like it's that bad that a character that we don't even know what their power is yet is already ranked higher than Alex in terms of if we're basing it off of power of
True.
like how strong their powers. Like yeah,
True.
like and if Diamond does end up getting mind reading, that's instantly more important than
I would
emotion. Like
really
that's
like
just
that. I really hope they do
that's
mind
just
reading. That would be so really cool, unique. Like kind of like Superman, where like you're walking around and then you'll see like bubbles above people's head and you can kind of like hear. That'd be so cool, honestly. I think it would be a pretty good pick for them. I'm really hoping they do that. Honestly, I might actually get it if they do that.
Lynn was saying something about I've never played World of Warcraft, but she was saying how like apparently there's a character in that game that has emotion as well. So and she wasn't really a fan of that either.
And Walker, yeah, does have that. Yeah, like emotion, it's definitely hit or miss, like you said. Yeah, it's kind of like a little boring. Not one character, an entire fucking continent. Oh god.
I
Yeah.
thought like I don't know. I feel like the emotion thing was cool, but I could see how people could be like, yeah, it's kind of boring.
Mhm.
You know, especially when they're coming from Life is Strange 2 where Daniel was doing all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
So you're going from that to emotion. Yeah,
True.
it's gonna fall
It's
off obviously, but yeah.
True Colors is definitely a game for older people. I think, right? Like at least like more mature. You gotta be a
So
little more
like
mature to appreciate it.
I would say I would say the older audience definitely
Mhm.
probably appreciated it more than some of the younger fans. So I would say probably.
True Colors though, honestly on that replay, I was like, wait a second, like this might be one of my like, it's a really good game. I didn't expect that because I remember my first playthrough, I was like, eh. I really like Steph and Ryan, but that
Like
was about it. But
kind of
yeah,
kind of like you said, whoever wrote the romances, it was hard, right? When there's that scene where you got to give a rose to one of them,
uh,
like I spent legit like 30 minutes trying to break down who I should give it to. No bullshit. Like I was like, do I give it to Steph? Do I give it to Ryan? Like
I was going
who
for
gets the
Steph. I was
rose? You
going
know what I
for
mean?
Steph too.
I was like, do I get, like, and it's a tough choice because they're both well written.
Hmm.
Like they're both really good characters. Like you feel a connection with both Ryan and Steph. So
Which
it's hard to decide who should be Alex's love interest.
to
And I
this
think,
day, after how many Life is Strange games too, Ryan is the only well-written, romanceable character guy in all of Life is Strange. So yeah,
oh yeah, no, 100%. And again, if you compare it to two, I think you have two good romance options in True Colors, but then in Life is Strange 2, it's like, okay, Sean has Cassidy, right? And he has Finn.
you got Finn.
Okay, we all know about Finn.
Yeah,
And even Cassidy's romance is like, okay,
it's a little
there's
short.
a vibe there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's short. But and that's an issue with not to get too much into two, but that's a lot of people's sometimes the issue with two is that they
Oh,
spent too
Commando.
short of a time. That yeah, they spent too short of a time with the like the fucking like the outlaw kids or whatever they're called. Like you know what I mean, Finn and Penny.
I love that part. I'm
Like
not gonna lie, that was my favorite
you
part about
only
Life is Strange 2, I
you,
think.
you only spend one episode with them.
Mm-hmm.
You would think like yo, can we get like can we get more of these guys? Like these guys are pretty fucking interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you only get an episode, which sucks.
I do agree. Yeah, that's the issue with Life is Strange 2, but 2 is still my favorite. But I see a lot of people's criticisms with that, where it's like, yeah, you don't get enough time with any of the characters to really like super enjoy them. But
Yeah.
however they did it, I don't know how they did it. Every character that you meet, it feels like you were with them for a decent amount of time, no matter what. Like the grandparents, the mom, uh, the outlaws, yeah, like you said. Even though like the outlaws is probably it felt like the least amount of time, just because there's so many of them. That's probably why, right? There's just so many of them. It's hard to.
Well, there was, bro,
Yeah.
there was so many. You had Finn, you had Cassidy, you had that one foreign couple, right?
There was a lot. I can't even remember all their names.
You had Penny, you had, bro, there was a lot of them, a lot, like just so many of them. Then you had like the guy, what was his name, Joe, the guy that
Joe,
came
yeah,
and
Big
picked them up
Joe.
all the time,
Yeah, Big
right? Big
Joe.
Joe. Then you had the boss, right? Like just so many like characters in that section. And they all were kind of cool in their own part. Even Big Joe, I was like, all right, this guy, he's
He's trying to
solid.
get
He's
his job.
solid.
He a big dude, but he's just trying
Yeah,
to get his shit done. Yeah.
yeah, he's solid. I was like, okay, I see, I see the vision behind it. You know, I see it.
Okay, so Lynn said I had so many interesting theories for Endwalker, but none of them came true. Said if you felt hopeless and depressed, you turned into summer. Pretty much. I will say, like, Shadowbringers is peak Endwalker. Eh. This is what basically. So we're talking about Final Fantasy 14, Ritsky.
Oh, okay, Final
Yeah, I
Fantasy,
guess
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
probably not spoil too much, right? Because I'm sure a lot. 14 is a rabbit hole, though. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I love that game. It's my favorite game of all time, but it is a rabbit hole.
Isn't 14? Isn't 14 primarily just online, right?
Yeah,
Like, there's no like story, nothing,
no,
right?
it's actually like a lot of it is story, but it's an MMO. You know what I mean? So it's you get story with an MMO, but there is a lot of fetch quests and stuff. But the actual story of Final Fantasy definitely the best MMO story ever created. Uh,
Gotcha, gotcha.
at least
Yeah, I've never.
uh,
I'm gonna be honest. I never like looked into playing 14 ever. Like, I
you
never.
would like it if
Not
you like Final
because
Fantasy. It's really well done. Uh, but it's like it's an MMO at the end of the day. So if you play it too
not because I
much,
think
yeah.
it's not because I think it's shit, but just like I don't know. 14 just like I always knew it as the one that people always like kind of RP on and whatnot.
That's
You know
what it
what I mean?
is.
So
Yeah.
like I just.
That's gonna be the game. Yep, that's gonna be that's 14.
That's I see people make characters and they go play on
ERP.
that shit. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay. It's kind of separated in between data centers. Like, Crystal is your ERP data center. You know, your RP data center. Primal's like your more rate. No, Primal's kind of like the middle ground where it's like there is RP, there is a lot of raiding, and then you got Aether, which is just your hardcore raiders, stuff like that. Yep. From PvP too. Yep. But okay. I think we did a good job talking about all the characters, right? All the sub characters. I think we did a pretty well job talking about everyone.
yeah, I feel like we talked about like I feel like we talked about a lot. Obviously we covered Loretta, we covered Sophie, we covered Moses. I am curious to get kind of your thoughts real quick to wrap
Yeah.
up this like kind of second question. Uh, so you mentioned that kind of Vin has gone up the rankings for you. Like you should trying to go into that as to why you think like Vin has improved.
Okay, that was actually what I wanted to talk about, and I didn't get to yet. Okay, so Vin. Okay, if he dies, it is super shit. It just feels like his character just didn't matter. He just dies. You don't hear anything about him. You don't even hear how he dies. He just dies, and you're like, what? But if you save him, I do like how he tells you, okay, I kind of did it for Yasmin. I honestly believed it. That's what I asked Lynn, like, do you believe this story? She said yes. I'm curious on you, Ritsky, if you believe the whole I did it for Yasmin. He really cares about Yasmin. He owes her probably his job, and that's kind of why he did it. He was very dedicated. I bought that, but do you buy that? And did you like that as a character? I'll go probably more into my thing after that, but
Yeah, I would say it's okay. It's believable for Vin,
yeah,
100%, because of who his character is, right?
that's what
Like we
exactly. Yeah,
know in Double Exposure, he is literally attached to Yasmin at
yeah.
the hip.
That's why I'm like,
Like
okay, I kind of agree
so
with this. Yeah, I can see this.
he's so his success is so attached to not only Yasmin but to the school, right? Because
Yeah,
if that body was found, it would not only fuck over Yasmin, it would fuck
school,
over the school.
Miss Jenna, yeah,
So
everybody.
it's like the two things that he cares about the most being Yasmin,
Mhm.
they're both they're both at risk. So he's gonna do what he feels like he needs to do. That's
He probably
why.
cares about Abraxas to some extent, right? Even though he leaves it too, because he used to be.
Well,
That's like a
see,
weird. Yeah.
Abraxas is interesting because I truly don't think Vin gives a fuck. I just think Vin, when he was president of Abraxas, I see it as like he enjoyed like being the head man,
I can see that.
but I don't think he cared about like the old traditions of Abraxas.
Wait,
Like
yeah, didn't he tell, in Double Exposure, yeah, didn't he tell Diamond he doesn't care if she takes the Abraxas lead, right? I'm pretty sure he
yeah, well
did that. Yeah.
he was just like super nonchalant with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and if Vin cared for Abraxas, right? Even close to the same level that he cares about Yasmin in the school, he wouldn't like, he wouldn't like, how do I phrase this? Okay, like he wouldn't burn down the house basically, like because that house is like tradition. It's a lot, you know what I
That's
mean?
fair
Like
enough. Yeah, that's true.
he wouldn't burn it down. So I just don't think Vin cares that much for Abraxas. I think he was completely fine with leaving it. And I think he cares much more for the school and for Yasmin.
Agreed.
Like those are his two things
I
that he's attached to at the hip.
and I honestly bought that. That's why, like, that's kind of why I think he went up in the tier list for me as a character. And I'm like, okay, I feel like that is actually a good ending for Vin. Oh, yo, Jen, what's up, Jen? Lynn said he cares more about Yasmin, and since he was president, he knew about the body. Yeah, exactly. That's all he. Yeah, but to answer your question, that's why honestly Vin went up for me. Is because for what we do get of Vin, and I didn't want much of him this game, if I'm being honest. Like from Double Exposure, Vin was one of the worst characters in my opinion. Um,
Like
yeah,
him and Amanda were fighting heavily
yeah.
for spot, like heavily.
You either hate Amanda or you hate Vin or both, but I think no worries, Jen. Thanks for coming in. We're just talking about like everything from Reunion kind of. So we're just going through. Had some shit go on. No, you're good. We're just going through talking some questions. We've been talking about like Chloe, how you feel after this game, and now we're talking about the character subplots and stuff and all the side characters. But we were on Vin, and Ritsky asked me, why do I like Vin in this game? Like, do I think his story ended well? And for a character who wasn't good in Double Exposure, I actually bought him doing all this for Yasmin, and he was dedicated enough to even die for it if you don't save him. So, I guess he kind of didn't know, but I did buy it, and I'm like, okay, I feel like that actually gave him enough character, and I kind of felt bad for him in some ways, even though he should be in prison. But
Well, yeah, see, like that's the thing, right?
yeah,
Vin was so shit in Double Exposure
so
that
shit.
like he had to go up in this game. Like he
Yeah.
just had to. Now, like we said, Amanda, she was shit, and like she probably got worse, honestly.
Amanda
Like,
was, yeah. By the end of fucking Reunion, Amanda is definitely the worst
like,
character in the game.
like she, for a character that was so bad in Double Exposure, they somehow made her worse in this game.
I know.
Like,
I
it's
think Jen
impressive,
might.
actually.
You know what? This is perfect, Jen. I know you liked Amanda, so I am curious if you want to tell us why you liked Amanda. If you want to tell us, you don't have to though. But, it just feels like her character felt. You said she's a baddie. I mean, yeah, she a baddie.
Okay, she is a baddie,
Yeah.
but she's a baddie with no backstory.
No
Like we don't
backstory.
care about
Yes.
we don't care about Amanda. Like, yeah, she looked good, but like that's it. That's literally all it is. Like she's fine. Yes, I know,
Can we like
but
retouch on her? Yeah, just her she goes nowhere. She is a baddie, but yeah, she's a saltine cracker, as in she's very bland. Um, and her story
salty.
just kind of goes nowhere. You know what I mean? And as Ritsky mentioned, if you romance her, even in the first game, it doesn't mean anything by this game. No matter what.
It's so pointless.
And the only dialogue you get with her, she tells you something completely wrong, as we mentioned, about Red. I'm not gonna let that go, because that messed up my playthrough.
Now, granted, I haven't done a run where uh I haven't done a run where we romance Vin and then like get to that point.
I do want to see
But
that. Yeah.
but I will say the because in my main one I picked to have like Amanda be the backstory of like have where you got to pick Amanda versus Vin.
Yeah.
So I picked to have Max like be in a relationship with Amanda.
Yeah.
But again, it's just bad. Like in the beginning of the game, they make it a point to know that they had already broke up, so you don't really get any of those relationship moments on screen. It's just Max talking about, hey, she Amanda didn't like the fact that I had the fucking powers or whatever or some shit like that. So yeah. But yeah, like she said, she is a baddie, but it's just not that good of a character though.
That's fair. I think that's a good place to. It's just a part of me is like, should they have added Safi as a romance character in this game? Yes, because I think it would have added so much to Safi.
I'm telling you, bro, they were flirting with it so much. Like
they should have, man. They should have done it. They should have.
I'm telling you, they were on the line of doing it. I swear, bro. The Safi thing would have fed family. I'm telling you, it would have been so good. It would have been so good.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm a hard Chloe and Max all the way, and I would have gone them in my main playthrough. But it could have given Safi so much more as a character if for the people who don't want Max and Chloe to do Max and Safi. I feel like that would have added so much to Safi. And
bro,
I think it's important to have two romance options.
Like, bro, we're spreading Safi propaganda. I don't care. Like, we're just spreading it. We're just spreading
Okay, you sold me on it by the end of the game. I wasn't really interested. I'm like, okay, just get rid of Safi, get rid of Vin, get rid of everyone. I just want Chloe and Max. And don't get me wrong, they did God tier with those two characters. I felt back to the old days of Life is Strange. But I wish we had more of Safi, and that romance could have gone crazy. I'm saying.
100% could have went crazy. 100%. It would have been so good too. It would have been. Oh my god.
Now for for Jen in the chat, Jen, did you want? Okay, I know you're a huge Chloe and Max also, but would you have been happy if they added an Amanda also romance in this game? I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. Okay, I feel like
to have Amanda be like
though, right? Like him and Vin.
To have Amanda being like a sub romance or whatever.
Okay, personally, in terms of the writing studio, bad idea. Yeah, I'll repeat. I'll go a little slower. Sorry, I was going way too fast. So I know as like an Amanda, as someone who romanced Amanda in the first game, would you have want her in this game in Reunion to be romanceable also, depending on what you do in Double Exposure? Like, would you have maybe wanted to romance Amanda in this game over Chloe? Maybe on like a second playthrough or something. That's the question. Because I'm actually really curious about people who actually liked Amanda, if they would have liked her to have been romanceable in this game, in Reunion. I am curious. I feel like that's like a big question, right? I'm sure they asked themselves too. I'm sure they were like, yo.
It's like, do we put Amanda in this game as a like lover? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like,
I'm sure they asked themselves. Oh yeah, would have romanced her? You would have romanced her over Chloe? Holy shit, Jen.
Well, technically, she said her second round. Right?
Okay,
so,
sorry,
second.
Sorry. I thought you meant
so she's saying like after the main playthrough, she would have. Yeah.
I read it as like second round, as in like I'll do it again for a second time. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Well, maybe she might have met, but I'm reading it as like on her second playthrough. That's why I'm reading that.
Second playthrough. Chloe is my bitch. Hell yeah. Chloe's the best.
Yeah.
No, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, it would have given Amanda the character depth she needed, honestly. Yeah, Chloe's definitely everybody's ride or die at this point.
I feel like had they made Amanda a romance op, we probably would have gotten more context on who she is.
Yeah. I just sadly think it comes down to just how much time do they have in terms of like budget, and it just seems like they had to
Oh
cut
yeah,
so
I mean the
much, which
bus.
sucks.
I mean, well, yeah, they spent a lot on those fucking artists as well. They spent the music and everything. Like they spent a pretty penny on that, I would imagine.
That'd be a perfect segue, but I feel like we're still not done yet because my next question is about the music. But yeah, it's just I think that they did the best they could have done for their budget in terms of who they prioritized besides Safi. But yeah, I agree with you, Jen. Actually, I think they should have added her as at least continued the story to some extent, and Safi should have gotten possible romance too. Vin, you can cut the Vin romance out, but
Yeah, especially with what we know now. Yeah, cut the Vince. So cut the Vince.
Vin, yeah. Vin was just so we had a dude romance, but
Just kind of put in there. Yeah.
but I guess like this one's kind of hard to answer, but for the next question. But we're happy, Ritsky, with the subplots, everything? I think we answered them pretty well. Are you happy with
Yeah.
my answer for Vin?
Yeah, no, I mean I can see where you're coming from with Vin for sure. I think
Vin would be my last. Yeah.
no, Vin is a lot of people's last. Like he's yeah.
I told
He is
Risky if you
not.
romance him for the story, you might be world's first.
Oh yeah. I'm funny. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a playthrough of that. I'm gonna 100% doing the playthrough. But to answer your question, yeah, I again, it was in character for Vin, so that's why I'm okay with it because don't spend an entire game rating a character one way, and then you know don't have their motivation for doing something be out of character. And I think a lot of games fall into that trap. And it's good to see that they at least made Vin's reasoning something that's believable. Like, okay, I did this for Yasmin. I did this for the school. Like, yeah.
It could have
Like
just been some dumb shit that made no sense, and then I would have been pissed even more. But they actually made it make sense.
Yeah, 100%. So, in that case, I'm completely fine with it.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah. I was happy about it. I didn't think I would like it because when he died in my first playthrough, I was like, that's it? Like, what? But then I had to play it again. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I do like how they have your choices actually matter. People will die if you mess up. So I felt that was pretty cool, too.
I don't know the actual numbers, but I would love to see how many people actually found Vin on their first run. Like, I would love this.
It's not easy because you have to get it right. Jen, did you get it right? Did you get Ren, and did you get Vin? Did you pick both? Did you get it right your first playthrough? Because I spent 40 minutes on this damn screen, knowing it was right, and then I talked myself out of it. To Joey.
He talked out of it so bad. Like it was so fucking
bad. You didn't
bad.
get it right. It's hard, honestly. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's
no,
it's
wrong at all.
It's bro, it's super hard because like, given the context, right? I guess the more you look at it, it's okay. Like Ren does make sense, but you're thinking like, why would they just put this random character here?
Like,
to like be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like.
So like. Nah. So then it's like, okay, is it Lucas? Because you're thinking Lucas is gonna have a bigger role, right? So it's like, okay, could it be him?
That's when I started side guessing myself.
And then like Joey had like all the classic signs of it, but like if you read the article, I think it said that Joey was like into like non-violence. So like that kind of like gave it away right there. Yeah.
And I said that too when I was debating it, and I'm like, no, it's still Joey, like an idiot. I was not thinking. I knew I should have judged him when he was on the screen. Yeah, because like, what gave it away for me was the spray paint in his bag. But then for some reason I just kept. I don't know.
Double guessing it, bro. You just get.
Well, because Jed, we got so in the stream we somehow got on the topic of it could have been a different spray paint, and that's what got me.
Yeah, yeah, because Lynn brought that up. She was like,
Lynn,
"Oh yeah,"
what
because Lynn
was this,
said,
Lynn?
no," because Lynn said the writing was too skinny, that he couldn't have done that with the spray can or something like that. So Lynn got rethinking that. Oh, there's no possible way he did this. Like that's what she was saying. So that's what she was saying.
I don't blame people for getting that wrong. It's actually I could see it being all three to some extent. So, but the,
When it comes to the Vin thing, I think the game pretty much tells you
yeah,
if
Vin
you
you can
like
definitely
collect
do.
it.
Yeah.
Like the game tells you if you collect the evidence, it literally tells you that Vin is like.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any way to get the Vin one wrong.
Yeah, I think
Unless you just don't look around and find clues, then that's the only way. But if you look around at all, then you know it's Vin.
well,
Like,
Vin, there was enough stuff coming from the high up and then to meet in the middle to where you could tell it was Vin. But Ren was kind of
yeah.
just like it could be all three of these motherfuckers. I don't know. For me.
No, to talk about
Oh no, Jen, you
I
got
got
Vin
the
wrong. Oh no.
you got Vin wrong. What?
How bad?
Wait,
Wait,
hold on.
what happens when you get both wrong? I'm curious. Like, how many
I
people
mean,
die?
bro, they probably fuck shit up. If you get both wrong, they fuck that school up. They
School
they
gone
they
off
do
the
it so bad.
planet.
There's no way.
Yo,
They
what?
but
That's
bro,
alright, Chad.
wait, hold on.
People always
How do
play.
you
Oh, nothing. Okay. How many people died? Do you remember? I'm guessing, like Owen has to die then. A few peeps? Okay, that's not bad then, because my first playthrough, I got Vin right and still like 4 people died. So, okay, that's not too bad.
well, yeah, because you killed Safi, but yeah, we
Yeah.
just we,
Alright.
oh,
Now I'm sad.
like 4 to 5 people die. Okay, that's not that bad. Well, I mean it's bad, but like
That's some deaths, but it
could
is.
be,
I
could
will
be
say,
worse, I guess.
Jen, it is worth going back and getting the super max achievement where you save everybody. It's like super rewarding. It feels fuck Safi. See, we're in a group. Me and Ritsky, we're in a group where we actually I wouldn't say I fell for Safi, but I do kind of like her a lot by the end of the game. I'll just not talk about Safi killing herself. Yeah, is that a good point to talk about, Ritsky? Well, I guess we could talk about that, Randolph. With what Lynn said, so Safi
Oh,
killing
let's
herself.
not talk about Safi killing herself. Well, yeah, because like
I get
again,
why
in
she did
that
it, though.
moment,
I get why.
yeah, in that moment, it's meant like I said, you're trying to convince her that her actual self means something, right?
Exactly. I get why she is.
And
It's just because she feels like shouldn't even be alive.
yeah, it,
Because
because of Chloe being around now,
hmm
she feels as if Max doesn't like vibe with her anymore. Like she doesn't rock with her, right? And whether you think that's right or wrong for her to feel, that's how she feels.
yeah, she definitely needs some therapy. And at the end, I kind of felt bad for her, especially getting her killed. She done pissed me off. Jen, what, how did she piss you off? Don't get me wrong, she definitely pissed me off by the end of Double Exposure. I was really pissed with her by the end of that game. But I feel like they did bring her character around.
The one way I could see people being pissed off by Sophie is, again, kind of back to that Chloe thing, right? Just her kind of recklessness and just her kind of she doesn't
Very
always make
reckless.
the best choices, right?
Mhm.
Like she's kind of not indecisive, but she's a little reckless when it comes to what she does, and she doesn't always think about it. We'll say, like she doesn't. She kind of just goes.
Agreed.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely. She's so much like Chloe, though. Like, she is so much like Chloe. After you like actually look at it, she was being selfish about not helping. True, that is true. She was telling Max to leave.
She was being a tad bit selfish, telling
She was.
begging Max to leave and then
When she
begging Chloe to
knows people are
leave.
gonna
Like
die.
that's just
Yeah,
yeah, that was for sure selfish.
I agree.
I,
It's
I
just
will say that, but that is part of the
character.
bad writing that she got in Reunion.
That's
Like
true.
I think in Double Exposed, like I'm telling you, she was so good in DE, but then like they ruined Sophie, bro.
Yeah, I think Safi was the only
Like she's
redeeming thing about double exposure, and obviously Max. But
yeah, obviously having Max back as a main character.
I by the end I bought Safi, and I understood why she was like that, you know, because yeah, like she said, she has no one by that point. So I do wonder if she ever met others like her. Yeah, you know, we were actually talking about that, and she does mention how she went out for a while, she didn't find anyone, and then she got kind of lonely and went back to Max and them and Caldeon. I don't know if they ever brought it up. Yeah, they do actually bring it up. We talked about that when you're talking with her for the first time at the table. She does.
At the Snapping Turtle, right? She mentions that her and Diamond found nobody like them.
Yeah.
So she just like came back and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, then she got lonely.
And also, there's that moment if you choose to lie to Yasmin and tell her that you don't know anything about Sophie, then there's the moment where Diamond ends up calling her. It's like two different scenes, right? If you lie to Yasmin, then Diamond Sophie, and if you tell Yasmin that you have seen Sophie, then Yasmin herself calls. Yeah. So it's like it's two different things. So we know that her and Diamond are in contact.
Still talking. Yep.
And obviously, like I said, we know that even though she's not in this game, they obviously want to keep her in people's heads. That being Diamond. So
yeah. Went down the rabbit hole, Jen. We're thinking Diamond might be the next main character. We kind of went down that rabbit hole, but we're gonna have to see.
Gonna have to check that out. You know.
3 more years from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably down the line.
Whenever the next one gets announced and it's Diamond, we'll be like, "Yep, we called it. We called it."
I don't know. I felt bad getting her killed in the first playthrough because I'm like, wait, she just needed someone to talk to, and like I was not really paying attention, and I fucked it up, and now she's dead. And I understand why she's like that. It's because imagine you die in a world, but then someone brings you back, and then you're like in between timelines. You just keep going back and forth because like you're supposed to be dead. So she eventually thinks she's supposed to be dead. I don't know. Reed won't be playing a Diamond game. Yeah, probably not. We'll see. Yeah, you definitely have to watch it. Yeah, honestly, for the Diamond Life is Strange game, tune into Ritsky stream. I will not be streaming that shit.
W plug.
I will not be streaming that shit.
Hey, listen. If y'all want to see Diamond gameplay, tune into your boy Risky. I got you.
Man, I'd rather have the Moses Life is Strange game, man, with no powers.
Moses is crazy. That's a crazy pull.
Yo, we could be making a telescope together. Yo, that could be kind of fun.
Looking at fucking space and shit. Yeah. I see the vision. I see it.
But no, I like Sophie. I bought her by the end. I just wish they gave her. They just needed to give us way more of her. And I think honestly, people like Jen who didn't like her, maybe actually could have understood her a little better. What she was going through and shit.
I feel like Reunion definitely needed a little bit more Sophie scenes.
That's it. That's the only character I think they really messed up with in terms of we actually cared about the character. Moses Life is Strange game. It is a powerless puzzle game where you assemble telescopes and gingerbread. Hell yeah. My kind of game.
Hold on, you can't tell me that scene in Double Exposure where he's making the gingerbread house
that was the saddest part of the game. I was actually sad when I saw that.
Bro.
I was like, oh.
That was so peak, bro. Going between like the different timelines and helping him make the fucking gingerbread house is so.
That was the thing that made me the most sad in the game.
It's so good.
Him alone assembling the gingerbread house by himself, I was like, oh shit.
So, it was so good. It was so well. It was sad, but it was good though. I liked it.
It was good. It's because like, yeah, Safi died, and then like Max is going in between timelines, and so technically he just like has no one. I felt so bad, and this man was making a gingerbread on Christmas by himself.
At the beginning of the game, they make such a big deal of their friend group.
Yeah.
And then like Sophie, dies, quote unquote. Max, rediscovers her power.
Mm-hmm.
Moses, has nothing. Has nothing.
Yeah. No, I think by the well, like we said that with Moses, very well done in Reunion. Actually, very well done. I have no complaints about Moses in Reunion. He even gave up the
Saying
crown of the gingerbread house. True. He gave it to
Moses
his
was so
son.
good.
Yeah. That was a pretty cute scene. Yeah, where he gives you the crown to give to her in the other timeline, right? Yeah, that's pretty cute.
Yeah, so that she could like have something from him. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was a dope moment. That whole like arc of mission was dope.
Yeah, that was a little annoying when he accuses you of wanting him to turn him in when you tell the detective, yeah, I'll do what I can. Like, come on, Moses, you're a smart guy. You know we're gonna say that to a cop, just to get him off our ass. Like, what?
I know I know Lynn was mentioning that that was like a plot where she didn't really care for it that much.
Yeah.
And I agree. I felt like Moses as a character just kind of would not do that. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with
Yeah.
it goes back to what we were talking about with Vin. Like write characters that make sense why they do.
Mm.
And in that moment, it just didn't make sense that Moses would do something like that.
No. Well, before I take too much of your time, I guess we could just talk about music. Because obviously, as we know, Life is Strange. I know as Jen, Lynn, all these people who play this game. I think Gora's in here too. Music is one of the most important things in Life is Strange, in my opinion. It is what we remember the most at the end of the day, besides Chloe. How do you feel? I guess I'll start with this one because I made you start with all the other ones. How did we feel about the music with this game? The music in, let's say, we're talking about the music in Reunion. Sorry, the music in Reunion. And let's go to, I'll actually pull up the soundtrack here. I do think they did an amazing job with the music. I'm not even gonna lie. So I fucked with it. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's get started. Let's start with this song. This is Life is Strange. You know what I mean? Like you get that Life is Strange feel. And then they brought back Spanish Sahara, as you guys know. The song.
What was that one song that remember when Max is like heavily drunk and she goes into the Abrex's house? What was the song that
Yes.
What was the song that played right there?
Girl and
Because that was a good song.
Dude,
That
not
the
to
one that
mention
played
this
at
song.
that moment.
When did they play this? Isolation? This song's a banger. Let me find that one for you. It might have been Dancer. Was it this one? This key? I think it might have been this one.
I don't have the volume for the stream on, so I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
But
Okay.
yeah.
It might have been.
But yeah,
Dancer.
there was that one song that played because she opens the door and it immediately plays, and it's when she's like super drunk at the house.
Yeah.
And that song was a banger. Whatever song that one was, that was a good one.
I think it was Dancer. Yeah, I think it was Dancer too, Jen. But you're right. The yeah, Girl in Red, banger, a fitting end. The song they play at the end. What was that? Like the conclusion?
The one for the montage, right? Like
yeah,
when the montage is playing.
That was
Yeah.
hard.
The montage song was a good one, and mixed in with the fact they were showing like everything. Yeah, it was a good. That was a really good moment.
It might have been this one. Wait. Okay, but me, I'm super big on my title screens. I am massive on my title screens, and I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think this is a title screen I'll always remember. This shit went hard. Hold on, Reunion title screen. Do you remember the title screen song, Kritsky? Like it's very basic, but it's chill as hell. So
I was gonna say it's like super chill.
like lo-fi almost, right?
It's not really doing too much. It's just it's there. Like you know
That's
it's
what I
there.
like, though, because it gives you that Life
You know
is
what I mean?
Strange vibe. Like listen to this shit.
Yeah.
It's that emotion. Come on, this is a good opener for. We're gonna do a title screen tier list, and I might put this in like top 3.
Yeah. Be on the lookout for the title screen too.
There it is. Title screen tier list incoming. Okay, actually, let's play the last. Let's play the part at the end, because I know. How do you guys feel about this title screens, Jen? A little too boring for you, or? I think it's beautiful. I think this is truly beautiful title screen for this game, with like the girl kind of chilling in the background with her vocals. Oh, it was okay. All right, all right. Need a little bit more. Maybe like Before the Storm. Opener.
I feel like Reunion was like you said, it was that traditional Life is Strange,
That's why I liked it. It
you
just
know,
brought me back.
opening soundtrack, you know? Like that's like you're thinking Life is Strange 1, maybe 2, like that, you know, that's in the ballpark of what it kind of reminds you of a little bit. Even like you said, Before the Storm as well as all that type of stuff. So
Uh, let's just do sorry. The Life is Strange reunion. What was it like the ending? I'm just trying to see the ending song. We could probably just, we'll do this and then see if he plays the music. So it would be like right here, right? I'm sure it got copywritten over, huh? Damn it, did it got copywritten over? No. Oh no.
but for me, the music is probably the shortest. Like, it's probably the shortest part for me because I'm like,
Yeah.
the music is good. Like for me, it's like it's always good for the most part in Life is Strange. Like there aren't too many times where I'm thinking like the soundtrack is ass.
That's
You know?
true. That's the only thing. Like, no matter what, Life is Strange is always gonna have good music. Alright.
100%. Like some games when you tune into them, like you just know the soundtrack from the be fire. Like
Fire. Yeah.
like you just know it. Like
I agree. This is a banger. This one, the montage, really good song. Like I don't think it's the strongest in the in the genre. I think like Life is Strange 1 probably still has the best music, right? Life is Strange 2 definitely some of the best ambience music. But it's definitely up there. I think they did a great job. I can't complain. Yeah.
Life is Strange 1 is just like
It's hard
to top
Yeah.
because of, you know, I mean nostalgia and everything, you know, it's just hard. And I mean at the time the soundtrack was still still a really, really good soundtrack.
That's it. Yeah, there's not too much to talk about. I just wanted to like include music because I'm like, okay, it's kind of important, right? Pretty important
Yeah, no.
for me. I'm a big
Music
fan.
music definitely sets the tone in a lot of these games.
You need to have that Life is Strange like vibe of the music, and like songs like this give you, like this I'll Die Anyway, Growing Red. Like this is this vibe. This is Life is Strange, you know? Like that hyper. Really good. Yeah, I think that's about it. I guess we just go into like the big last final question. Or we could talk about the visuals if you want. I'm like, I don't know if we talk about the visuals, like the overall quality and everything.
I mean the visuals. I don't think the visuals were bad in Double Exposure. I thought the
It's
game
one of the
looked.
strongest.
It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, the game looked good. It's just that you know wasn't that great of a game towards the end.
Yeah.
But I thought Double Exposure looked really good. I think ever since they've switched to like motion capture,
It's like two
I think
colors.
they've yeah, True Colors and Double Exposure, like they've done a good job making the games.
Yeah.
It's just that you know, quality wise,
The
it wasn't
writing
like the
gone
greatest.
down.
Yeah, the ratings for sure gone down, but it looks good though. I will.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think okay, the big boy question. All right. I know you kind of asked this one at the end for me, but now that we've gotten Double Exposure and Reunion, are you overall satisfied? Does it feel like a complete story? Because I think that's the biggest question here now is did they need to make Reunion? Could they have just left off Chloe and Max with Life is Strange 1 and would it have been better than what they've given us now? And that shit is deep. That shit goes deep because
Well, yeah, I feel like
that's such a hard
I feel like
question.
you should. I feel like you should take the first crack at this one.
All right,
Like,
it's a tough question, man. It's like it goes a million different places. Where, okay, so starting off, we've got to talk about the ending for Life is Strange 1. No matter what you get, both are very, very, very satisfying. Not to mention super memorable, probably some of the most memorable ending story in a game. Uh, and the fact that they bring back, Max and Chloe, it could kind of ruin that. So then we'll have to talk about that more. But yeah, depending on whatever you get, if Chloe dies, that the amount of emotion that gave us was, I think that could have just stayed there and been done, and people would have been happy, and we were. But obviously, when you bring back Max, then you bring back this whole thing where, okay, Max is back. What about the people who Chloe is still alive for? What about, are we gonna get Chloe now? So they have to obviously bring back Chloe somehow for both people, for people where she died and people who are still alive. And in terms of that, I think they actually figured out the secret sauce for that shit. I'm not even gonna lie. I think they cooked up bringing Chloe back for both people, right? Is that just me? Like, bringing the whole
um,
timeline thing, but they could have done better on the timeline stuff, explaining it at the end of the game.
yeah, no,
But
I
yeah,
obviously for people who like really wanted Chloe back, I think they did a phenomenal job.
yeah,
For those like people.
yeah. But yeah, agreed. I just think, but then you have to ask yourself, okay, did we need double exposure? Did we need reunion? That's when things get complicated as shit. Because, like, as we already said with the whole beginning, Life is Strange 1, it was a really good ending. This I still have, honestly, I still haven't even answered myself this, like, confidently. I still haven't, like,
Yeah,
figured out if they needed to make this game. I'm happy they
one
did.
thing I
Yeah, I'll let you go.
yeah, one thing I will say, I'll give you a minute to like think about
It's
that.
so much. Yeah,
One thing I will say is that, and I mentioned this to you before, right?
yeah.
It almost feels like these two games are meant to be connected and kind of
100%.
sold as one, like one
100%.
story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and in that case, like they essentially use two games
Mhm.
to like send Chloe and Max as like a final farewell, right? Because
Agreed.
Double Exposure, like not really too much happened there. Obviously, you get like the big
More of
reveal at the
Safi.
end, and
Yeah, that game
yeah, and
was.
Sophie kind
Yeah.
of being like introduced as like a main character and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I will say that you know, did they give a final goodbye, like a final good goodbye? Yeah, I think they did a really good job.
Yeah.
Like I said, some of the best parts of this game is Max and Chloe,
It hard
and that
carried. Honestly, they figured it
their
out. Yeah.
their kind of final moment, depending on what version of the ending that you get, I think it's good. Unless I don't know what the bad ones are because I haven't played it enough to get multiple
CO.
endings,
Yeah.
but I'm sure the bad ones probably sting because of the connection that those two kind of share. But I would say overall, I feel like now was this game like needed?
That's a
Okay,
hard.
that's where we get
That's
into
when
like
things get
kind of tough
hard.
territory because like
Yeah. Uh,
I was on the train of thought that this game could have easily been double exposure. Like
agreed.
there's
Yeah.
unless there's something that I just don't know, like maybe Chloe's like voice actress like wasn't like available or something.
Available. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I could see
But
that.
if she was available, then I don't see why you couldn't have put Chloe in double exposure. You know what I mean? You could have easily put her in that game and made her like viable and whatnot. So, and then I
It's.
feel like
Yeah.
by now we could have either been moved on to the thing,
Agreed.
or we could have got something like Chloe and Max could have been done by now, but they just chose not to put her in double exposure. Which, again, when you leave a character alive, like let's say you pick the option where she's like still alive, because there are a decent chunk of people who did pick that option, right?
Mhm.
Um, if a character is still alive, as important as Chloe, they're gonna want to know what happened to her, right? You can't just like write her out of the story and
That
think
is
people aren't
true.
gonna like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah. I think
they
for
they
those
kind of
people. Yeah.
they kind of opened that door themselves, right? They knew they had to put Chloe in the game.
Mhm.
How could you have her alive in this universe and
No. Yep.
not
Yeah.
not know anything about her, right? Now, for the people that chose to save Arcadia Bay, well, then that's how they tied that into the into the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because then they introduced the whole like multiple dimensions and shit. So now there's a whole nother Chloe out there, and now obviously you get the events of Reunion.
Yep.
You can like merge them and whatnot. So,
I think
but but yeah, I would say this game needed to happen because of their choices of double exposure. But it didn't need to happen
100%.
if they would have just made this game double exposure.
Agreed. I
That's
think
kind of
it's
where I'm at with it.
crazy. Like if you actually think about it, double exposure and Reunion tied together would probably still be less hours total than Life is Strange 2.
Yeah,
Right?
both of them are very short
Yeah.
games. Like all things considered, they're two very short games.
A part of me wishes they just didn't come out with double exposure until they finished all of this and then just made it into one game. I feel like that would
Into
actually be
one
really
game.
well. That people would
Because
have been much
I
more happy.
feel like
Yep.
if you combine them into one game,
Yep.
I think it goes up. I think it's a
Agreed.
pretty solid combination.
Fix a few
But
things.
it's the
Yeah, and
but it's the fact that they sold two separate games.
Yep.
And double exposure was at full price, mind you.
I
So
paid $80 for this
that
shit.
yeah,
Well,
I mean
100
Reunion was a little bit different because I think they only sold that at like what 30 or 40 or something like that.
Yeah, I think like
Because that
yeah.
because that was Reunion wasn't full price, so they knew they knew it was going to be like a discounted game essentially. You know what I mean?
Because it's definitely a much of a part too. But I think you did a great job actually helping me figure this shit out because so Lynn said was it needed? Probably not. They could have just scrapped the whole Caldeon arc and just did something else, but they made it anyways and they did improve some characters. Agreed. I do think they stick the landing at the end of the day. I think that's something really important to talk about. Like, did they stick the landing? Did they bring back the chemistry? 100%. And I will say I'm very happy they made this game because it did make me feel those emotions we had way back when we were playing Life is Strange 1. Especially after I finished this game and I like turned off stream, you know what I mean? You start thinking about it, you hear the title screen song, you're like, oh shit. You get kind of emotional because you're like, that's it for these characters. Like, this was like half of our
Yeah.
life if you think about it. Like, we grew
No,
up with this shit. Yeah.
and also to Lynn's point of what she said, it there is like there are members of the community who are like just get rid of this whole arc and just
Yeah.
move on to the next thing, right? So that is a viable thing that people do talk about. I just think that they obviously chose to continue with being at the school.
Yeah.
So if they were going to continue to be at the school, I think their best choice was to, like you said, do what they did, and that was make reunions, right?
Yep.
Um,
Man, if
you
they
know,
just
but
made double
again,
exposure and didn't make reunion, it would have been a disaster.
yeah, 100%. Had they moved on to the next thing, they still would have faced backlash from a good portion of like the community.
Like, a part of me
So
was
they,
before this game came out, I'm like,
they
just please don't just stop, just make something new. But after they did this, I'm like, okay, I'm happy. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, they needed to like pick a side.
Yeah.
Either they were gonna stay at the school and like commit to that storyline,
Mhm.
or like Lynn was like saying that they could wipe it completely, erase the like school arc, but there would be people like questioning why they did that and whatnot. So
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, my final answer is I absolutely did fall in love with the characters again, and I'm glad they brought them back. A part of me didn't need a happy ending for them, but when we did get it, it felt much rewarded. Like, it was just a long time. It's been like a decade, an actual decade, and it's nice for them to finally get their happy ending. And it felt like it was
and
very
also
complete. Yeah.
and also like they said, they did improve some characters.
Yeah.
Vin got a slight improvement.
True.
Moses got a big improvement.
Big improvement.
Even Loretta got a slight improvement. Like they improved some.
They did.
But it was hard because like some of these characters were like,
Unredeemable.
yeah, they were kind of like, who cares, like at the end of double exposure, you're not left wondering like, oh, I wonder what happened. I wonder what's gonna happen to Loretta, whatever. Like you're just not, you're not wondering, you know what I mean? Like you just don't care, like. So that's kind of my only.
That's fair.
That's my only thing with it. They improved, but how much is the improvement? If the bar is like in fucking hell and they improve to like mid, then you know what I mean? Like, is that an improvement? Like, obviously some characters only made like a slight improvement.
Yeah.
Other ones got like jumped all the way up. So
I will say, this is what I kind of talked about earlier, but seeing Chloe and Max together again when they're older now, which I really wanted, when they're actually more mature, getting that scene where now Chloe is, you know, she's actually trying to help Max versus just Max being the only one helping her. I really didn't know I needed that, but when I did get it, it helped a lot. Like the character, everything. And the boat scene was amazing. I'll always remember that scene, as we talked about. It was just cool to see Chloe in kind of a different light. So, I am very happy with it. Somehow they did it. I didn't think they would. Chloe and Max. If you're only talking about this game as Chloe and Max, I think it is a pretty perfect game. And for that, I'm out. No, I'm just joking. I'm happy though. I'm happy. I had to do the meme. Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it was not needed, but I'm glad they did it and they stuck the landing for two characters that we love a lot. And getting to see them back together and a happy ending. Can't complain there. But please do new characters next. Yeah, so Fritz, any final thoughts? Please no Diamond.
completely new characters. Like
please
no Diamond. No mention of the school, nothing. Like, just please.
You can do the cameos, alright? You could do them. I'm okay with, like, you know, Safi. Okay, not Safi, because technically she could die, but I'm okay with...
I had to mention that again. Oh, come on, man.
Okay, I'm cool with, like, Daniel coming back, maybe for an episode or something. Or for, like, a fast cameo like David did in Life is Strange 2. But
if they can like pull that off, though,
it's tough.
Like if they could find some way to like circle in the other main characters, that would be fire.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a world where they're gonna pull that.
It's just the only way to do it would be like a David situation where it's only for, you know, 10 minutes of an episode, something really short.
Yeah,
on the travel too.
Yeah. There's no way they would bring them back full time or even like as a secondary. I think it would just be like it would be just like a niche character kind of come back, you know, like.
The only way I could see it, like what we talked about before, where Diamond is the main character, and then you know Max comes to help her out with her powers. That's like the only way I could see a cameo anytime soon.
You know, Diamond being the main would open doors for like Max, and I guess if they wanted to, again we know that they like to bend the rules sometimes. So, I mean, I guess they could technically bring in Safi to help out Diamond.
I actually agree with you. You know, part of me liked the fact that she could die because it means there's more you can. It actually like makes your choices matter. But I kind of agree where I think they should have just kept Safi alive, no matter what.
I feel like she's way too important. She's way too important of a character to like just kill off, like especially like that. Like, I wasn't a massive fan, but I'm trying to think. Any final words you said?
Yeah, like any like final wraps up. I guess for like I know you kind of already answered the question for this one too. But,
yeah. No, I mean, you know, I kind of said kind of how I feel about about the characters and you know just like the story and even where I think it goes.
There's hope. Yeah. Risky, did you cut?
What happened? No, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think there is hope now. This game actually gave us hope. I'm not even gonna lie. At first, I thought the Life is Strange genre could be done. I thought the franchise actually might be done after Double Exposure. But then they came out with this and they showed the fans that they still can do it. They could still, even though, would you say it's kind of cheap because it's two characters that are already super fleshed out and it's kind of easy to write these two characters?
Yeah, that's like another like.
Yeah. That's like another.
Yeah, that's like another talking point. It's like, well, these guys already have like backstories that the community cares about and whatnot, and we already know who they are, so it's a little bit easier to incorporate them as like mainline characters. versus incorporating somebody rating completely new for the first, you know.
Yeah, I guess it's like it almost might be harder to write a character that people love though, in a way, because you have to do it so perfect.
Well, yeah, there is potential for you to ruin that character,
Mm.
but you also have a lot of leeway as well.
Yeah, that's a right on. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I really can't think of anything else besides just wow, they somehow did it. I actually felt emotional. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, no, there were moments they cooked.
Moments. Nah, decent game. What would you? Okay, actually, your final rating. Now that we've talked about it, you've had the time to let it, mature, marinate. What would you say? What would you give this game?
I mean, I would still, honestly, I would still say it's like a 7.
Okay.
Um,
Just 'cause
you
all
know,
the
7
side
out of 10.
characters, they'd really bring the game down.
Well, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, the ones that got improved got improved.
That's true.
Again, other ones we just don't care about. And I think it's a 7 specifically, probably specifically because of Max and Chloe. Like they carried a big chunk of the game.
That's what I was thinking, because it's like they're what 60% of the game pretty much. So I feel like if you say they're a perfect, those two, you have to at least give the game like a 6, right? Already.
Yeah, but I mean, bare minimum, you have to.
And then like the music gives it another point, definitely, and the visuals.
I think this is very much so. It's very much a above average Life is Strange. I was
Okay.
like, it's very serviceable. You can play this and not feel bad.
Multiple
Like
times
it's
too, which is nice.
yeah, 100%. And like I said, I only did it once, but I could tell there's like a lot of replayability, basically. You know.
Yeah, I didn't talk about this. I don't know if you searched it up, but I was searching up some of the endings. Apparently, there's a way to get something called like a golden ending. I don't know if you saw that, but
I have not seen the golden ending, no.
basically you have to not use your powers as max a lot of the times when you can. There's times where you actually don't have to use your powers, and if you don't, apparently you unlock like a better ending or something, like a alternate ending. It's called like the golden ending.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into
So I'll have to look
because
it up myself. Yeah.
I did not hear anything about that, so I'm gonna have to like check that out and then see what that's about.
Because I was thinking, like, is there any scenes where like the game forces you to use your powers, but you cannot do it? Like, I don't know. Maybe, but apparently there is. Apparently there's a lot where you don't have to use your powers, and I guess it like unlocks a better ending. I don't know. I will have to look into that one. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to like see what that's about.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. I like how they did that. They actually kind of thought of some unique things. And that's one of my favorite things when games do, is like Easter eggs, really cool shit. Puzzles. I love when games do hidden puzzles, like Reunion.
There was a lot of like Easter eggs as like a callback to previous like games. Like obviously you got the Porta Lobos keychain and everything. That was fire.
What else? They had the Porta Lobos. They had the gnomes.
Yeah, all the gnomes. I'm telling. I think that was a callback to True Colors. Yeah.
And obviously just all the callbacks to Max and Chloe. They did a lot.
Yeah. So they clearly did. They put time in showing. Showing love to the other games or whatnot.
But you got it, man. You gotta show love to the other games. I wish. One day we'll get a Daniel cameo. Daniel and Sean cameo. Nah.
I forget that's all Ree wants. He wants to update on Daniel.
That's what I want, man. I want the update on the brothers, on the Wolf brothers. But
yeah, shout out to the Wolf brothers.
Will we ever get a game with them again? Honestly, I think this is the same scenario where it's like I hope not, but maybe a cameo would be great.
Cameo would be absolutely fire.
I can't really think of anything else. I think we did a pretty good job. Ritsuki, I wanted to say thank you. Ritsuki kind of kicked butt on this. He carried my ass.
Nah.
Man, I think too fast. Like, that's my problem. I talk too fast sometimes, and like I get off track. But like I feel like you helped kind of bring it back to what we were at, so that helped a lot.
Listen, man, I'm glad to I'm glad to be here. Appreciate you asking me to kind of talk about.
Oh no. Did I lose you, Ritsuya?
What happened?
Oh shit, okay. There we go. For some reason it's like cut out for a second, but we're good. But yeah,
Oh,
man,
my
really,
bad. Yeah, it's honestly like my fucking mic's been fucking up, so that's all. But no, I was just saying I'm appreciative. I'm obviously grateful for you asking me.
oh hell yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
They had to hear your voice too, you know what I mean? Like we gotta get, the ladies, man.
Right.
They're already interested. I'm
That's
trolling.
crazy. That's
I'm trolling
crazy.
too. Yo, yeah, Ritsky and Reed podcast. Hold on. Life is Strange
Sir.
podcast weekly. Hold on. Sounds like a lot of
W
work.
pod.
But yeah,
W podcast.
yeah, like I would love to do a Life is Strange podcast, but I feel like sadly there's just not enough. You know what I mean? Well,
Yeah, I mean, each game is so different, so
I think you could always be like the choice-based game podcast. You know what I mean? That'd be great. Like, especially like Dispatch,
Yeah,
how good that game was.
yeah, because then you can incorporate. You could do like Life is Strange. You could do
Mass Effect.
that's
Yeah.
Mass Effect, yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Hold on.
Speaking of which, Mass Effect character tail is coming soon.
That's coming soon. Honestly, I'm so excited for that one. Dude, that one's gonna
Yo,
be crazy.
ME3 is gonna be a movie. That's all we're gonna say.
I'm actually. That's why I wanted to start streaming so much too lately and getting all this like Life is Strange stuff. Because obviously I was really excited for Reunion, but I kind of wanted to get to Mass Effect 3.
No, it's gonna be fucking amazing.
Yeah, we built up this long. It's time to beat this shit. Yeah, Life is Strange tier list too. We're gonna do either a character tier list, which we haven't done yet, or soundtrack tier list. We got the tier list makers. Hold on. But yeah, I think we'll also doing a stream.
Yo, subscribe if you want.
Oh shit.
If you want more, subscribe if you want more tier lists from Reed. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to fund his tier list habit.
Call him yo, hold up. We gotta that's my new stream name. Tier list Reed.
Tier list Reed.
Tier list Reed.
Fucking fire name, honestly.
We'll make a tier list for everything possible known to man. That'll be my life.
And eventually we'll cap it off with the tier list.
Damn. Yeah, where I start reviewing all my tier lists and then
ranking all your tier lists.
That's crazy. Tier list to the tier list to the tier list. Then we'll get even crazier when I'm a grandpa. I'll be in this is my tier list.
Bro's gonna be 60 making tier lists.
Alright boys, back in my day, these characters used to be bottom 1. Now Vin number 1. I let Vin
is now Vin is now S2.
S2 character. Oh no, that'll never be the day when we put Vin on the top.
It's like shit, in my day, I put this boy D tier. I put this boy
But with Life is Strange 10, they cooked with this dude.
Like, yo, when they brought him back and that plot twist, crazy.
Vin made character. Hold on. In prison. That's the next game. Yasmin, Vin, and Owen, they get a prison game together.
Oh nah, bro. No shot we giving Owen a minute. No fucking way.
Owen, dude. Yasmin could be kind of cool. I lied. Don't do this. Please don't do this.
The Yasmin thing is pure propaganda. That's a very selfish thing right there.
I'm gonna be honest.
Reed just wants Yasmin main character.
Dude. Okay, I loved her going in. I love the mama energy. I am a MILF enjoyer. But she went down on my MILF tier list, man. Ugh.
Went down on the MILF tier list.
Bro, number 1, she rats you out for talking to, for telling her Safi's alive. And then, for saying she's around, and then she also does all that crazy shit with the Abraxas stuff. That's down on the MILF tier list, man.
Actually, shit was kind of crazy.
Yeah, like she kind of belongs in prison. I don't know.
Even though she didn't do anything herself,
Yeah.
but the fact that she covered it up is kind of crazy.
Like at the end of the day, you really can't cover up a dead body. That's prison time. But whatever. Shit. Yeah. Cool. Let's keep my man. We gotta do some more gaming sometime.
100%, bro. Some more WDBD, man.
Oh god. Dude, they're crazy, right? They're fun group of people.
Nah,
Ada
they're fucking hilarious. They're hilarious.
Damn Ada hate, man.
The Ada hate is wild. They're funny though. They're funny.
I had to rethink my Ada love after that. Like shit. Well, cool. It's a perfect time. Good time to end stream. Shit. Alright, thanks guys for coming in. We got Jen tonight, we had Lynn, we had a few others. Arvi came in, obviously. Thanks for everybody coming in. Let's get you too. I'll stay in the Discord, but alright, peace out guys. Peace.
Shot. W stream.